Hoopa versus no Hoopa in these competitive team compositions. We see now esports loading up that powerful Pokemon hyperspace holes and rings unbound allow you to quickly move around the map. But T2 has favored not playing that character so far in the tournament.
Yeah, instead having some movement speed held items to maybe help circumvent that, but also just having great EXP share use on their game. Now, on the left side of your screen, T2 is sending Mame on the Serena into the central area. Mame, an absolute superstar player, one of the best player in the entire.
Oke guys, selamat sore. Sore kali ini kita akan nobar Pokemon Unite World Championship London ya. Ini day 3. Kemarin gue nggak streaming karena gue ada acara keluar. Besok juga gue mau ada urusan ke Bandung. Jadi hari ini kita akan nobar World Unite guys. Let's go. Halo semuanya, selamat sore guys. Halo, halo, halo. Wah ini kalau kita lihat timnya menarik. Ada Trevenant. Cuma Hoopa emang masih jago ya guys ya. Udah day 3 ini, kemarin kan day 2. Kemarin day 2 gue nggak streaming guys. Day 1 gue streaming. Cuma day 1 belum ada Unite. Ini Unite day 2 berarti ya. Sorry, ini Unite day 2. Bentar gue ganti judul dulu. Ini Unite day 2. Sorry. Sorry. Gue nggak nulis di London. Gue nggak nulis di London. Gue nggak nulis di judul. Gue nulis di pin.
Already Honedge getting a nice KO. Haruto goes in for 2 and they find the KO onto Redmaw as well. Geese will probably be able to finish the job, but that is still a 1 for 2 trade.
Oke. Bentar ya guys, gua story dulu nih. Belum sempet nge-story. Gua harus ngabarin dulu nih. Halo, halo Faiz. Halo semuanya guys.
Takishima on the Blissey did get knocked out in that situation. So a lot of goals getting scored in the bottom now for Nouns Esports. They have got.
Ayo kita nobar World Unite day 2 nih. Sorry kemarin gak stream ya. Let's go langsung ke YouTube sekarang.
Pretty big knockout here in the central area for Nouns Esports and invade by T2's Cramorant is quickly dispatched.
Bentar, gue tadi ada Cramoran guys.
Acquiring it even more experience. We see now it's already level 7 as we're heading.
Lucario masih jago ya? Masih kepake Lucario. Quarter final berarti udah perempat dong. Dragon Knight, Blissey, Lucario, Hoopa, Trevenant. Ini Jepang lawan EU. Itu lawan Nouns Esports. Buset, seruduk cok. Anjir, Sarina masih kepake ya? Lucario nggak di nerf, Lucario udah di nerf berkali-kali cuy. Makanya gue kaget masih kepake. Tapi mah Lucario jago sih. Yang udah pasti gila mah ya, Hoopa sama Blissey. Aegislash juga masih gila. Ini bawa Cramoran nih. Oke, kontes Dread Now ya. Ditarik cuy sama Trevenant-nya, gila. Gue lebih prefer nonton sih daripada main. Sumpah. Gue lebih prefer nonton. Main Unite stres guys kalau nggak full party. Asli. Oh, dia ngambil buff musuh ya? Ambil apa dive? Oke, itu Hoopa portal ke atas ya, langsung ke Rotom. Kemarin pakai Sarina semua. Iya, Sarina kok balik lagi ya? Setahu gue Sarina di nerf ya. Apa Sarina di buff lagi cuy? Lucario masih kepake terus. Sekarang masih even sih skornya. Cuma favornya masih ke Noun. Jebol ya. Trevenant-nya juga bawa dapat tuh gratis tuh 40. Jebol nggak tuh bawa 40? Oh, langsung cabut lagi ya. Enak banget Hoopa cuy. Halo semuanya guys. Capek hati main Unite solo. Iya sumpah gue makanya udah nggak mau lagi. Makanya gue nggak bikin Hero Spotlight, Buzzwole, Tiranitar, Glaceon gitu. Soalnya udah milihnya rebutan terus lu solo gitu. Susah.
absolutely love the decision of Bro.
Yo, Faris, halo, Faris.
Attack here on the Blissey. We've frequently seen Blisseys playing eggs to heal recently.
Ini
and the fact that they're
volume
playing into
oke
this
kayaknya, guys.
really powerful
Aman lah ya.
Snorlax reposition makes
Gak
them
kegedean, gak
unstoppable
kekecilan.
that Blissey provides for
Gamenya
that
harus main
safeguard
berlima
in that
banget,
hole.
iya cuy. Soalnya ini bukan farming ya. Ini mainnya banyak-banyakan poin. Kalau farming kan masih bisa ke carry gitu lah, main item gitu. Kalau ini banyak-banyakan poin, lu nggak bisa. Kalau misal, dia ngambil air slash ya, air slash bukan sih namanya? Halo semuanya, selamat sore, ikut nonton yoi. Kita nobar aja guys, santai ya. Gue lebih ke Unite nih makanya nggak ke VGC. VGC lama. Gila sih ini Trevenannya. Rusuh banget cuy.
No Hoopa in position, no problem, says Gatlu.
Ngambilnya
As they
curse.
get in there with the powerful Trevenant Pokemon pushing people around and dictating the terms of engagement.
This goal zone does get broken thanks to a small 11-point dunk there by Supercell. But now
Abis cok,
the
didorong terus.
reinforcements from Nouns have
Gila tuh lihat.
arrived.
Ini dua gentong loh sekarat. Snorlax sama Blissey. Dibombongin doang sama dia.
We see the second Rotom spawning in.
Tapi oke sih, ini skornya masih bisa lah. Itu masih bisa lah. Jagain Zapdos kan. Menurut kalian menang siapa guys ini guys? Menang T2 apa Nouns Esport? Apakah akan Zapdos Gaming? Aku dukung mana ya? Nggak tahu sih, nggak dukung siapa-siapa sih ini. Coba menurut kalian menang siapa guys? Weh, ada Pak Patrick. Halo Pak Patrick. Iya, Trevenant di buff sih memang kemarin. Wih, ini Cramoran bisa ya nginiin Rotom sendirian. Kuat juga dia. Nonton MPL sih, iya tuh adek gue di bawah lagi nonton MPL. Aura lawan Big Etron tadi. Dapat nggak tuh? Oke, nice. Masih oke guys, masih oke nih. Dapat 50 dong, 49. Gila seru ya kalau Worlds ya. Apa imbang gitu loh. Ayo halo semuanya. Non sih ini yang menang, coba kita lihat ya. Masih bisa Zapdos Gaming soalnya nih. T2 kayaknya War Zapdosnya kayak lebih kuat. War Zapdosnya dia ada kontrol Cramoran sih. Cuma ada Trevenant tuh di musuh yang repot. Trevenant, Hoopa, Blissey, anjir. Gila. Nah ini tinggal Dread now nih. Dicolong lagi dong di Hyper Beam.
Match securing potential from a Desu there on the powerful character. Can they catch this sword here? It looks like they're getting out thanks to some assistance from the
Zapdos Gaming guys. Belum Rayquaza Gaming ya. Dua-dua kanan kiri ada Blissey cuy soalnya. Nah, nih di war nih. Kan Trevenantnya cok, rusuh banget. Bunuh dulu Trevenantnya, sumpah. Oke. Nah ini nih. Wah gila, kalah cepet cuy. Kalah cepet bos. Gak bisa bos, menang Nouns bener. Main sendiri capek, iya main sendiri capek guys. Unite gak bisa ya. Kalau solo lu pusing lah. Gila di war di bawah coy. Udah susah sih.
An impressive amount of suppression there from T2 keeping them out. They are down 300.
Unite tuh masalahnya di sini. Kalau Zapdosnya udah keambil, rata-rata susah guys. Mereka tinggal nge-def doang gitu loh. Trevenant nggak mati-mati yoi. Nggak mati-mati Trevenant. Udah Trevenant, ada Hoopa sama Blissey gitu. Ini rada unik sih memang dia. Draft Jepang nih, Cramoran cuy. Nah ini udah tumpuk-tumpuk bukan nih. Tuh, nggak bakal bisa. Harus di war, dimenangin terus nge-scoring semua. Gitu doang. Nah, di war digituin. Yang belakang datang lagi dua, cepret. Tuh. Mana nembusnya anjing. Tuh. Oh, tiban lagi. Dorong lagi. Ini yang namanya Zapdos Gaming, guys. Ya, Pokemon Unite. Sekalinya Zapdos sudah ke ambil ya, selesai anjir. Tuh, langsung begitu. Ada waktunya sih, jadi susah kalau udah keambil Zapdosnya. Iya, kalau ML itu kan beda total lah sama Mobile Legend. Mobile Legend memang mainnya kan ada item, guys, ada farming, ada duit gitu. Lu beli item, ada build gitu lah. Kalau musuhnya apa, lu bikin apa gitu. Kalau Unite kan nggak ada di situ. Jadi lu bener-bener bawa tiga barang sudah. Lu tinggal team fight-nya aja. Non tinggal main bolak-balik terus lompat aja, iya. Tinggal jaganya gitu doang emang. Lompat. Ntar ke ini jaga, lompat lagi gitu kayak tadi. Tuh, kalau kalian lihat tuh, lihat si Trevenant tuh recovery-nya 76.000 anjir. 116.000 damage. Damage delta udah kayak Sarina anjir. Nyamuk kurang laku kah? Nggak tahu gue nih, belum lihat nih. Kenapa nggak dia pakai tiranitar ya? Apa belum boleh guys pakai tiranitar? Soalnya tiranitar kan kemarin katanya tier T guys, pas tiranitar keluar tuh langsung nomor 1 tiranitar anjir. Ini sekarang ada emblem, iya ada emblem. Kan gue tadi nggak ngomongin emblem, gue tadi ngomongin item in game ya. Kalau standar yang ntar new map, totally itu scoring doang, kagak ada Zapdos. Lah yang Rayquaza itu apaan? Tiranitar di early-nya kurang kuat. Tapi emang sih kalau disuruh milih ya, ini komposisinya non udah bagus. Upa Blissey gitu tuh udah selalu kepake ya. Ya beda lah, Unite pokoknya beda lah sama MOBA kebanyakan ya. Noun Esport versus T2. Oh, dasar guys. Nobar TCG gak? Enggak kayaknya. Kayaknya kita Nobar Unite aja. Ntar kalau Unite-nya lagi gabut bangetnya atau break dia, baru kita cek-cek VGC ya. VGC lah, jangan TCG. TCG nggak kelihatan guys soalnya. Nah tuh, attack weight, focus band, Ayos Cookie. Ini yang mau coba ikutin build-nya dia nih. Curse, Hornleech, Fluffy Tail. Attack weight tuh anjing. Makanya tampolannya kayak sampai 116.000 cuy. Bawa Ayos Cookie. Tuh lihat itemnya tuh. Oh, si Broof bawa apaan? Wiggly. Oh, diganti ke Score Shield guys. Ayos Cookie-nya. Jadi Score Shield, attack weight, focus band sekarang. Anjir. Gak ada, masih gak ada band guys, masih dikit Pokemon. Catat nih build pro player nih tuh. Tuh Blissey-nya, energi amplifier, body barrier, focus band. Iya, pantesan aja Thankyou ya. Udah Thankyou makin Thankyou cuy. Di turn ini band Glaceon sama Tiranitar. Oh, berarti Pokemon baru belum boleh dipakai ya, bisa dibilang. Glaceon, Buzzwole sama Tiranitar belum boleh.
Also just an effect of how the curse move works, right? It's going to be doing damage in an area of effect, hitting multiple Pokemon whenever whenever they take these big engagements. And the way that now
Orangutan itu tim Nolukario yang ganti nama. Pindah player apa Fer? Selamat sore Eldorado, baik kabar, alhamdulillah. Non bakal menang lagi nih Hupa. Dia bawa Hupa ya tadi ya, bawa Hupa lagi ya. Harusnya kita ikutan sih. Iya nih, boy gimana boy, tim GX boy. Udah bubar. Udah bubar tim kita, top global 72 waktu itu anjir, awal-awal. Iya, main lagi kali ya, boy ya. Ganti nama aja bang mereka, tapi kalah sama no show. Oh. Main lagi kali ini kita boy. Goblok-goblokan lagi boy. Gabut banget anjir nih nungguin Scarlet Violet asli. Gue main PS5 aja di bawah. Mager gong. Masa gue ngontenin game PS5 mau? Lu semua ngeliat gue main Far Cry gitu. Kapan review Buzzwole? Gak bakalan padahal. Gak ada duit. Mager kan tadi gue udah bilang. Mager. Kalau bisa ikutan kompetisi seru sih. Konten Spider-Man ada tuh Spider-Man. Susah anjir ngontrolnya.
Yeah, and even, you know, thinking about the engagements
Announce
in
SV
our
hari
first
ini
game,
bang. Enggak. Maksud gua Pokemon Scarlet Violet masih November gitu, lama.
I would bet it wasn't back up again for that end fight that they ultimately ended up losing.
That could be. And you see, we were talking about that defense that Nouns likes to play around a Desu, making sure the Dragonite is teed up as if they were at a Little League T-ball game, making sure it is as easy as possible for them to swing and hit those objectives. But realistically, we saw at the very end, Supercell was the only player that could almost get to
Mau
try
aja bang
and
konten
stop a
PS5.
Desu. But at that moment,
Rayquaza di new map cuman ada buat di standar, kalau Zapdos buat Zap point base. Kalau Rayquaza itu buff, kalau dapetin dia kayak body barrier. Oh, dia bukan poin kayak Zapdos ya. Menarik sih, ntar cobalah main lagi Unite. Tapi yang penting ada temennya, gue tuh mager main sendiri. Ntar deh nunggu barengan Koko Kentang, Michelle gitu ya. Boboy. Lah ada Boboy, ada Boboy. Bang squad GX mana tuh? Imguin ditanyain sama Boboy. Ntar gue PM teman-teman gue lagi dah, ajakin main Unite. Mahal guys, Tiranitar 14.000, gila kapitalis nih game. Masa harganya inflasi coy. 12.000, 14.000, buset. Pengen sih main lagi, cuma gak mau gue kalau sendiri. Beneran ogah anjir.
But honestly, if I'm looking across the entire team of Nouns Esports, they are so phenomenal from top to bottom. Not very often do we have what I like to call sometimes a super team in terms of EU. Nouns Esports is looking amazing. All right, we are headed into draft.
Wah anjir.
City
itu gak bawa Hupa lagi, sama buildnya cuy.
T2 just running it straight back here. It's important to remember that
sama.
Just character selections you can do different.
Gak ada yang berubah ini.
Positioning things go different. The thing that stands out in my mind that happened in that first game.
Ntar guys, gue lagi balas chat.
The Kramer rant for T2 split push for a lot of that game. It was kind of off on the opposite side of the map, and without a Hoopa to pull it in at key spots, they just fought a lot of the team fights 4 to 5.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. I mean, going into these split pushes definitely can make the game a little bit closer, so you're not as big of a disadvantage when you're hitting those final team fight moments. But still,
gak gesek, gak asik token. Aduh, mager boy gesek buat ginian anjir. Mager bener. Bang main Kirby udah kelar Kirby. Ngajak VTuber lagi, aduh. Yang bener-bener nginiin unit gak ada guys. Gak ada. Kalau nggak salah kemarin ada pemain cewek yang main juga. Pemain cewek siapa guys? Buset, hampir hilang nih Lucario nih. Syah ini mainnya boleh pakai device apa aja? Boleh boy. Cuma rata-rata nih mereka kayaknya pakai Switch deh. Gak tau ya, gue nggak ngeliat kayak ML soalnya yang begini nih. Dia mainnya gini, stick kayak pakai stick gitu. Hilang cok, on edge. Halo, gue taruh 0 menang anjir. Coba kayak ini kayak Nemo ya YouTube ya. Bisa bidding.
Meteor match
Betting,
there from
betting.
the expert Lucario player Redma clears them out no problem.
Simple geometry, great displacement there, making sure that they have the angle to
Bang PS5 main di MC5.
Now we have
Udah
the
main
Dragon
gua
Air
di
headed
MC.
down here to the bottom path. Desu pushing up for this first
Apa
row
gua main di
beast.
MC4
They
ya?
are on damage duty. Redmon, bruv,
Gua sekarang lagi main Far Cry.
Pokemon duty.
Yeah, 3 to 3
Sama
in the
Horizon.
bottom path. Absolutely every beat going over to Nouns Esports there. Gatlu having level parity in the top path that would look like so far.
Using a Fluffy Tail, it's got a short-ish cooldown. You can use that even on a Core Fish if you need to. They do find that last hit, I believe, but Ruin is trying to escape. Supercell on a little bit of an invade.
Yeah, Snorlax, one of the characters that last hits incredibly
Disemprot Snorlaxnya, anjir.
And it's tackle before that, looking to
Duar.
steal this buff here,
Dicolong
but
buffnya.
Hungry boy Snorlax looking to grab
Mati nggak nih? Mati nggak nih Snorlaxnya guys?
Incredibly well at
Mati
this
nggak nih?
time in the game, right? I mean,
Iya,
Snorlax such a strong early
hilang.
game. Wow,
Wits.
Pokemon secure dog.
Terjuk.
Desu Dragon Dance
Terjuk,
in the wrong
terjuk.
direction. And
Woi,
unfortunately,
kekejar,
it
keambil
takes a little
buffnya.
bit longer, but that
Untung bisa
boosted
ngibrit
auto
ya.
from Dragon Air knocks out the Snorlax.
Mereka mainnya
We
tetap
see
ada yang
Mame
HP. Iya
pushing
tadi
up
gue
on
lihat
the
ada yang nunduk
C2
satu
point
tuh,
in
yang orang
the
Jepang.
top path at that powerful Zarina stage now looking to get those double stomps and
Jadi
make their
mengingat
presence
zaman-zaman
known in
berjuni
these
Unite,
beats,
iya
man.
anjir
They
di Nimo
really
iseng
need
banget
some
sekarang
attack weight
platformnya udah
stacks,
hilang
though. They're
cuy.
gonna try to match up to Redmaw if they're gonna catch up. They have a full 30 AOS energy, and T2 has only scored 5 in total, none from Mame.
Again, the hyperspace highway opens up and a manual rotation from T2 is just shut completely out.
Di Indo
by
ada
Hoopa
turnamennya
and
gak bang?
friends,
Ada lah.
piling in the clown car and popping out the other side.
Geese might be
Orang
one of
kemarin
my
tim Indo
player
ada yang
picks for the
udah ikut
best
kualifikasi
Hoopa
juga
in the
guys
world.
biar kesini,
Really
cuma
have a great
di SEA-nya
understanding of
terjegal
map
ya,
awareness and
nggak
where their
lolos.
team needs to get to. Sometimes even when
Kalau
the
lolos
team
berangkat
doesn't
ke
know
sini.
that, they'll just see a portal and
Worlds.
know that's the direction they need to go. They trust that player with everything.
Something notable here is we saw another hyperspace
Boleh kali ya
hole
main
open up
lagi
between
gue ya.
the points here before these 720 Bs happen, but no one walked in either direction. That's the power of Hoopa. Even when you're not using it to rotate, you have to give the opposing team the question in their mind, hey, what could be happening here?
Intimidation. Hard as a wide guard to
Mus.
try to collect a lot of the damage, but the power
Tuh,
of
sumpah rese banget itu. Rese banget Revenannya asli.
KOs the Aegis Slash.
Yeah, Nouns Esports kind of acknowledging, hey, we are in position here and T2 is not. We are taking this objective off the board with our powerful
Gak main
signature.
Elden Ring.
Also on take
Elden
off
Ring
the
di
board
PC gua.
this tier 1 goal zone in the bottom path.
Udah main Elden Ring.
Very often considered to be the much more
Waktu itu kan sempat di
valuable
streamingin,
target
cuma
than
nggak
the
kuat
top
ya di
path
streamingin.
goal zone.
PC gue
T2
belum
does
di-upgrade.
collect that one, though, and
Jadi
knock
gue
out the
mainin
Rotom.
sendiri aja,
Mame with a nice
Pak
solo
Steph.
play to split push, break a goal zone, and send Rotom down the path.
Gue
Now the
nunggu
question
ini,
is,
nunggu
what is
itu
T2 going to
Hogwarts,
do with the pressure
yang
that
Wizarding
this
World,
Rotom creates?
Harry
Can
Potter
they
yang
make
ntar
a
tuh yang
push in the
PS5,
bottom path?
God
Can
of
they
War
clear out
Ragnarok,
extra experience? Looks like Gatlu stealing some of those Audinos in the bottom path, but
Knights of the
ultimately
Old
going to
Republic,
pay
banyak.
for it? Question mark?
Ini harus
Harus
digituin itu Trevenant. Harus digituin kanan kiri. Baru hilang. Gila. Ini ada tim dari SEA dong bang, ada. Indo gak ikut kehabisan visa bang, banyak perwakilan Indo yang kagak berangkat guys. TCG-nya aja gak berangkat tuh si Rafli Atar. Pokemon Go juga nggak ini, jadinya pakai dana sendiri katanya, nggak tahu jadi berangkat apa enggak. Kayak parah deh, kemarin banyak banget harusnya perwakilan Indo yang kesana. Mah visanya lah, apanya lah, aduh biasa birokrasi itu.
Yeah, when Aegis Slash is in sword mode, it is paper thin and the beams, they hurt. The wide guard makes you a lot more defensible, but at the same time, it means you do a lot less damage.
Now, right now, T2's Ruin on the Cramorant is the only backline character, or only backline Pokemon for the entire team. Everybody else wants to engage, get up close and personal. Mame thinks they have
Gue pelanggan setiap file shop lu, gue beli gem setiap bulan bang. Aduh bang Fer, sorry banget nih, file shopnya tutup. Gue tutup dulu sementara, mau gue rapihin dulu guys. Nanti mau nambah top up yang lain soalnya. Biar nggak Unite doang. Soalnya gue sebenarnya bisa top up banyak banget selain Unite. Terus karena kemarin masih berantakan gitu ya, gue mau benerin dulu, ntar nyari admin yang biar bikin posternya rapi juga gitu-gitu. Terus nambah top up game-game lain juga. Jadi gue tutup dulu sementara tuh. Pokemon Sword kapan mulai bang? Udah mulai sih kayaknya. Bentar ya.
You know what's not extremely close to the
Nih.
moment, Zoinks? The levels
Udah
on
mulai
these
nih.
players. We are just all double
Anjir,
digits down the
bentar
left
tuh bawa
side of
apaan,
your
Cok?
screen here for
Oh,
now.
Raiko,
Esports,
kaget
we
gue.
have a couple of
Ntar kita
level
nonton
nines
VGC
still here
gantian,
for
kelarin ini
T2.
dulu.
If we go into the end game engagement, the 2-minute mark with a similar differential to this, it is not going to be a good time.
Soalnya VGC lama banget kemarin. Pas day one. Terus alternatifnya cuma Poken. Jadi bosen guys. Ini mulai kan langsung nih kita.
Yep, we see the tree putting in some dunks. I have to imagine Daisu's going to pop back up here and deposit this 40 before the road
Jebol
down
ya.
buff is gone. Buying a little bit of
Masih
time
dipimpin
before
oleh
you break
Nouns
that goal means
Esport.
you give the opposing team less time with that
Ramorannya
extra
ulti.
experience.
Oke,
See a push
dibales
up
guys,
here
bawah
on the
jebol.
bottom for T2.
Oke, even ya sekarang skornya ya 273-270. Buset. Oke. Tapi sekarat nih, bisa di pick up nih. Oke. Revenannya main, gila. Sekarang Sarina mainannya itu ya, Storm. Waduh. Tuh, cepret. Storm lagi. Wah. Gila juga ini si Mame. Cabut, Me. Cukup, Me. Buset, Me. Tutup, iya gua close dulu, bukan tutup permanen, gua close dulu. Gak tau udah dibikin pengumumannya belum sama admin gua. Kemarin gua bilang suruh close dulu Falkro-nya. Mau dirombak. Push. Right now menuju T2. 30 detik menuju Zapdos ya.
That was the first contested objective in this series that T2 has secured.
Gila keren banget, Borto United udah ada turnamen, udah World Championship ini Pak. Ini World Championship United pertama setelah gamenya keluar gitu ya. Ini $500.000 kalau nggak salah price-nya ya. Berapa sih? Kayak segitu deh. Tom tambah emblem attack crit, iya sih bener. Sakit makanya. Oke. Langsung ramorannya zoning di situ ya. Oke. Revenant hilang nih. Nah ini Revenant hilang udah mulai rada tenang lah. Dragonite-nya udah sange begitu cuy. Untung ada Snorlax anjir langsung ngedev si Kramonya. Oke, masih bisa zoning Zapdos ya. Oke, cabut. Balik lagi. Hilang tuh Lucarionya. Hyper Beam. Oke, kita lihat. Ke itu. Satu sama dong. Oke. Satu sama guys. Seru nih, begini baru asik nih. Belum ada pemberitaan di story IG atau wallnya bang. Oh belum berarti ya. Nanti gua ingetin lagi deh. Lihat aja skinnya kayak patah. Kang sulap kan dia temanya. Bapak lo gimana sekarang, sehat? Alhamdulillah, lagi healing aja, lagi pemulihan ya guys ya. Doain aja semoga bisa konsisten lagi nih ngejar konten-konten kita yang tertinggal ya. Wait, siapa tuh?
3x gak masuk bang.
Satu hentas aja. Tadi gua ngomongin tuh nama Boboy. Tadi Boboy nongol tuh. Nih kita gimana nih boy? Tim GX boy mau bubar. Ayo kita comeback lagi, main lagi. Udah seru sekarang. Ayo tuh main lagi tuh. Gue pengen main gak ada barengan tuh anjing mager. Oke, satu sama ini ya. Thank you Tun BTW. Seru nih. Oke, kita coba ke VGC kali ya. Oke, kita coba ke VGC bentar kali ya. Kita coba ke VGC guys. Kita coba VGC bentar. Gue penasaran nih, Groudon Kyogre akhirnya nih. Bentar ya VGC ya. Akhirnya Groudon Kyogre nih. Ntar gue pindahin gue kesini lagi guys.
It's a little
Biar
bit
nggak
like
ngalangin.
game one,
Nah.
but we know from the
Bentar,
attacks
coy.
from game one, the grassy glide and the max lightning aren't
Groudon
enough to
Kyogre,
deter.
bos.
So if you
Gila,
put yourself
bos.
in that same situation where you potentially
Jepang lawan Jepang
allow
nih.
the Kyogre to max again, hit it with those super effective attacks, and then lose your Dynamax turn one.
Berarti ini bisa dibilang ya Groudonnya lebih lambat ya. Jadi trigger Sunlight terus di replace sama Kyogre. Oke. Kyogre cabut ganti ke Incineroar. Nurunin Tundurusnya
Yeah, I mean, all eyes
Defiant.
on that Rillaboom, to be honest, but also Thunder is getting the Defiant boost from the
Kenapa dia
Intimidate
ganti
switch
ya?
in from that Incineroar. I mean, Rillaboom really has the pick of choices. You can do significant damage to either the Kyogre or the Groudon, and you can utilize Fake Out. So Rillaboom really does kind of call this turn for Ko. But we're going to see a Dynamax straight out of the blocks here for Tatsuya, and of course, it is going to be that Groudon.
kayaknya
So even if the
sistem
Rain
unit
Groudon
kayak gini
takes maybe
nyebelin gak ya
shake
kalau
things up a
Zapdos
little
kalah
bit.
kayaknya
You know,
90%
Groudon
kalah
has
harus
such
kah
a
di fix.
diverse
Wah itu
move pool. You can always go for
emang
something
gamenya
like
seperti
a
itu
Max
Bang
Quake,
Ipung.
boosting up your special
Gua nggak bisa
defenses.
ngomong itu,
There's just
cuman
so
memang
many
nyebelin.
options that could come into play here.
Memang
Even
beda
something
dia
like a
dari
Max
game
Rockfall
MOBA
to
lain
just
ya.
get rid of that
Oke,
Thunderous.
dia
So I
protect.
think Ko going for the protect here, really nice and wise.
Dia
just
tahu
in
dia mau
case a Max
ditargetin
Rockfall's
Groudon.
coming his
Oke,
way. And
Grassy
the
Glide ke
target of the
Groudon.
Grassy Glide was indeed into that Groudon, but the
Udah
Intimidate
intimidate loh
and
itu.
the extra bolt
Rockfall,
from the
ya.
Dynamax going to be paying off.
Rockfall
As Max
ke
Rockfall comes out from the
Tundurus.
Groudon, it is going to connect down onto that opposing Thunderous.
Itu udah
Does so
protect aja
much
masih
through the
setengah.
protect, but thanks to the protect, it's going to
Ganti
stay around
cuaca.
for another turn.
Yeah, that's a nice protect there from Core, just to make sure to kind of
Nice.
scout out what was going on
Nge-scout
from
namanya
Tatsuya's side of the
itu.
field as we see that Groudon go for the Dynamax here.
Cara dapat
The
litan
problem
gimana
is
nih
with getting
Pokemon
the
Sword?
Incineroar onto the field
Transfer nggak sih?
is you do get the Intimidate, of course, but like we saw there, that Defiant ability on the Thunderous activates and gives it the +1 in its attack stat, making it even stronger. Although it's not really gonna.
Transfer apa rate
I
ya?
don't think it's
Rate
gonna
nggak
have
ada
the
kayaknya
tools
deh.
to be able to really
Gue dapat litan
deal
gimana ya
too much
Incineroar?
damage to the Groudon. The Groudon should be able to get off another attack. And now with that Incineroar in, you're kind of saying, well, yeah, I'll give the Thunderous an attack boost. Doesn't matter, my Groudon doesn't really care about that too much. But it does allow me a turn to get Fake Out onto the field and prevent that
Sengaja dia
from
dia mungkin mikir
attacking
tadi
my
kata
Groudon. The
kata
thing you have
analisnya
to
ya
worry
nggak
about
masalah
is
lah gue kasih
Rillaboom
Tundurus
could go for
Defiant
Dynamax
nggak
or
terlalu
even
ngaruh
Dynamax
juga.
as well.
Yang penting gue
And
bisa
that's
nge-threaten
something you
Fake
have
Out
to
sekarang.
worry about, because if you Fake Out into that slot, you know, and it goes for that Gigantamax or Dynamax and then attacks with the Grassy
Bener
Terrain,
sih.
it's still present on the field now. It's going to have that boost
Bener
into
sih.
the Groudon, and even at -1, it's still going to
Protect
do a lot of
Relabumnya.
damage. But no point. We're just going to see a protect loop.
Yeah, just to protect. But interestingly,
Break,
a brick
break,
coming out
Cok.
here from the Thunderous into
What?
that opposing Groudon. And Max Lightning,
Mati lah.
this is a really interesting choice from the Groudon.
Gila,
Gonna
dia
be
bawa
able to
Max
pick up KO
Lightning.
against
Berarti
that
Thunder
opposing
Punch.
Thunderous, of course, overwrite the terrain. And I think that's
Thunder
the key
Punch,
thing
Cok.
we saw in Game 1, how having the electric terrain on the field was so detrimental
Punch
to
one.
Ko's Rillaboom being able to go for priority grassy glides. So not only do you get the KO on that Thunderous, but you now stop this
Parting
Rillaboom
shot.
from having a party on the battlefield.
Yeah, I love that play a lot. You know, getting that electric terrain, like you say, it takes away the immediate threat of that grassy glide.
Iya
now.
juga ya,
Puts
tapi
Groudon
sebel.
in a way better
Apalagi kalau
position.
last itu padahal lead
Yeah,
jauh.
Cole
Iya,
being a little bit more
emang
preserved
keunikannya
here.
di situ Bang
Probably
Ipung.
looking at the board state and thinking, well, he took a lot of damage from that Max Rockfall. It's not worth Dynamaxing my Thunderous this game. I'm not going to do very much damage, even with that Defiant boost. So maybe he has got something like the
Gua ganti
Kyogre
judul
in
dulu,
the back
VGC
now
dan
to come in,
Unite.
which would put him in a good position. Because in front
Gue pernah
of
lihat ada
something
orang
like
dapat
an
litan di raid.
Incineroar
Oh berarti
and
di raid ada
Groudon,
ya?
if you Dynamax your Kyogre in this situation, you're thinking, well, I've got my rain up if I come in now.
Okay.
I'm going to have these boosted water type attacks, and it puts Tatsuya a little bit more on the back foot than what he is
Nah
presently.
ini kan belum mulai nih.
Yeah, and of course we saw
Kita
the
sini
life
dulu.
orb on that Groudon as well, so it's going to be dealing out additional damage. It's nice to see it how with the life orb when we know it having the red
Dia
orb
switch
from
ke siapa
previous
nih?
formats,
Buat
but
ganti
it's
Tundurus.
still here to be able to deal out big damage. And if you're Ko in this situation, again, you can see how long he's taking
Siapa
his
tuh?
time to
Oh,
be able to
Kyogre.
think about it, because this
Ah,
is
tumben
day
shiny
3
nih.
of the World Championships. Everything is at stake.
Kemarin kan pada nanya tuh, Bang kenapa kalau di World Championship jarang ada yang pakai shiny? Ini shiny nih. Di Labumnya shiny. Kyogre shiny. Oke, dia masukin Kyogre ya, ganti cuaca.
does still have the opportunity to utilize that Dynamax.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think with the rain up now, it all comes down to which of the Groudon and the Kyogre on opposite ends of the field will outspeed the other. You can, well, we can't presume anything because we haven't seen the Kyogre yet. but you can assume
Incineroar,
that
parting
Tatsuya's
shot.
Groudon is quite a faster and
Incineroar
defensive
parting
form.
shot atau switch
So it
manual.
does
Parting
probably
shot
have
sih.
quite a bit of speed to it.
Tergantung
So
sih, bisa
might
disemprot
outspeed the
duluan.
Kyogre on course side of the field. But like I say, information
Kalau
at the
disemprot
moment
duluan hilang tuh.
is very limited. So we'll have to go into this turn.
Yeah,
But
switch-
the immediate
switch
thing is that
Rillaboom.
the Groudon is
Ganti masukin siapa
by
nih?
this Kyogre because
Incineroar.
of that potential Dynamax. And
Tuh, Incineroar juga
Kyogre
shiny
is
dia.
Pokemon where it will be able to take an attack even if it is
Kayak berarti bawahnya Incineroar,
Yeah, and I do like the switch by
Rillaboom,
Ko a lot,
Kyogre.
preserving that Rillaboom for later on to deal with potentially both the
Oke.
restrictors on Tatsuya's side. And of course,
Ya,
the
switch
Intimidate
manual kan.
helping
Oh,
out
kalau
to
parting
reduce
shotnya
the
keburu
effective
kesemprot
pressure
guys,
of that Groudon,
hilang.
because we've seen that it's got that max
Gua baru
lightning
sadar
and
dia mau
the
goli
electric range
sopot,
on the
anjing.
field. So Kyogre isn't necessarily going to be
Gua
safe
baru
from anything
sadar.
here. So I think getting an
Wow.
attack drop is just maybe going to give that
Ada
Kyogre the
Guzma.
breathing space. If it does decide to Dynamax,
Keren kamu,
which
Guzma.
I believe we're seeing happening
Gua
here,
baru
to be
sadar
able
dia mau
to
goli
take one of those
sopot,
powerful
Cuk.
max lightnings. And Tatsuya also making an adjustment and bringing in the Galisopod, I think, to be able to have that
Wah, Mobile
first
Legends membadit sekali.
impression pressure going into that next turn.
Wah, gila nih, goli sopot mau ngapain?
Incineroar. And
Max
Groudon
Lightning,
is
of
going
course.
to go for the Max Lightning. Life Orb boosted in the electric
Life
terrain.
Orb,
Oh,
electric
so
terrain,
much
Max Lightning.
So
damage.
much damage.
I would love to know the statistics if it hadn't had that attack drop, but it does allow the Kyogre the opportunity to fire
Max
back
Geyser.
Max Geyser in the rain.
Ke
Connecting into
goli
the Gliscod, the
sopot.
switch in.
Nice banget.
Fantastic
Emergency
play by
exit
Tatsuya
gak?
here,
Cabut.
because
No.
emergency exit.
Emergency exit.
And
Masuk
then
lagi Incineroar
Incineroar
gameplay.
Yeah, and he's going to have that fake out pressure going into this next turn. Or, you know, it might even be the Kyogre
Wah,
hitting the
gila.
field now
Oh,
for
it could be.
Tatsuya,
Oh,
because
Kyogre
it
ini
puts him in a great
masukin.
position to utilize potentially the electric train like we
Anjir.
just saw the Groudon do there and get that big damage onto Cole's Kyogre.
Seru banget.
Yeah, I forgot the Rillaboom had left the field for a minute there. I was like, another Intimidate, let's go. But actually, you're so rightly bringing the Kyogre in here.
Buat
it can
begitu,
utilize
goli
the
sopot.
rain, the electric terrain, and go for those powerful thunders. And I mean, I just have to credit the way Tatsuya has been able to pivot the Pokemon in and out here, getting perfectly timed calculations, and now you've got both your restricteds back on the field, just like he started at the beginning of this game too.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that it's...
Ini berarti di belakang dia masih ada Rillaboom. Dia bisa Max Lighting lagi.
And I think, you know, this is an example how Gliscod works in this format. You know, you get
Max
it
Lighting
in
lagi.
to take the
Oh,
damage
udah
and get
kecil ya, lupa
a
gue.
free kind of
Back
switch
out
into
Kyogre,
another Pokemon to put that
Precipice.
instant pressure back onto the field.
Oh, and the speed of this Groudon going to be able to go for its Precipice Blaze and connect. Not going to
Max
KO
Geyser
the
ke
critical, so
Groudon ya,
Kyogre is
hilang
gonna be free
Groudonnya.
to go for another Max Geyser here, and it will be able to remove this Groudon from the field. But I really do think Groudon's been able to put in the work,
Okay.
going for those Max Rockfalls and Max Lightnings. You know,
Masih
choices we haven't seen
even
on
lah
Groudon
ini.
so much. We've actually seen a big shift in movement to maybe the
Oke,
Kyogre
berarti dia
being the
tinggal
Dynamax Pokemon,
dua
but
sekarat,
also critically
terus
when
belakang
Groudon is
Rillaboom.
Dynamaxing, it tends to go for those Max
Ya,
Quakes to
goli
get
sopotnya
special
balik lagi.
defense boost. And it was
Gol
nice
sopot
to see
mau
it go
ngapain,
for
Cok?
those more
Sumpah.
kind of tech options on the move pool. and
First
picking up
impression.
those.
Yeah, and now you get the Gliscod coming back onto the field. It is going to have access to that first impression now. It will be able to knock
Pasti
out
sih.
the Kyogre on Cole's side of the field if it doesn't have access to protect. And if it does have the Max Guard option here, it's kind of forced to go for that, leaving the Incineroar in a little bit of an awkward position where it will get knocked out by a potential.
Udah pasti
water
hilang
type
sini
attack
si
coming out
Kotsukide.
from Tatsuya's
Di first
Kyogre.
impression
It's
dia ganti ke
sitting in
Rillaboom
a
juga mati
position now
Rillaboom ya,
healthy
Cuk.
on the field where Cole's side, like you say, the Groudon, even though it went down the last turn, has done the work that Tatsuya needed it to do, putting these Pokemon right down so low on their
Sampai
health
berapa
bars.
ronde main ini best of
Yeah,
3.
it's certainly a predicament for Ko, particularly, you know, the speed interactions here are going to be interesting. Gliscod
Okay.
can go for that first impression and try and
Kyogre
pick up a
cabut
KO.
ya.
But we're actually going to see a
Incineroar
switch
masuk.
as Incineroar does now rejoin the field just to be able to preserve that Kyogre for a little bit later and have the fake
Okay.
out utility going into the next turn as well, particularly if it's able to dodge out of the way of anything
Guard,
Kyogre
yep.
wants to throw. But instead, it is going to go for that Max Guard, like you
First
said.
impression,
First
ting.
impression was going into that slot. So a wise Max Guard from Ko here, just keeping the Kyogre on
Terus
the
dia
field for a
parting
bit
shot.
longer and allowing the Incineroar to go for that parting shot. So going to be reducing the offensive pressure of the Gliscod and allowing Ko the option to bring Incineroar back in later, maybe try and throw an Intimidate down against that Groudon and use the fake out pressure. And I really do think at this point in the match, having that fake out, being able to, you know, stop a Pokemon in its tracks is going to be the commanding force, because you're either forcing your opponent to protect or leave it vulnerable to an attack. And I think whoever's going to be able to make those calls correctly is going to take this particular game.
Yeah, I don't think you could have put it any better there, Lou.
Jadi
I
kalau
think
tadi
the
first
fact that
impression
Rillaboom's
ke
coming onto the field now,
Incineroar,
it's
mati
gonna
kagak ya?
have its grassy terrain active again. You've just got to wonder what
Sekarang dia udah nggak
Tatsuya's
bisa first
locked
impression
into
lagi
with
nih.
his Incineroar. Has he
Terus
went for a
udah
parting
min
shot
1.
into that opposing Incineroar slot that would reduce the attack on the Rillaboom, get your Kyogre onto the field, and then give you the option where you've still got your own Incineroar in the back to then cycle out the Gliscod to get it back onto the field to threaten once
Kenapa Kyogre sama
again
Incineroar meta
with
banget
that
dari
first
kemarin,
impression,
main Incineroar
because
cuma
you can
nongol
see,
eliminate
like
sama
you
parting
say,
shot.
it's forcing
Iyalah,
protect,
ya justru itu
forcing
Red.
switches, and it's making it difficult for
Parting
Cole
shot
to kind
sama
of build any
ininya.
momentum here.
Parting shot sama intimidate-nya. Fake out, dia bisa fake out. Parting shot, intimidate. Rusuhat Incineroar tuh udah kayak wajib ya.
As long as it stays on the field with that terrain, you know, we need to make sure that there's no other switches. But with the Dynamax turns dwindling down,
udah mulai ya?
it looks like Rillaboom's going to be here.
Nah, kita switch Unite lagi guys.
Udah
level 8 aja. Udah 3 menit guys. Masih sama ya timnya ya? Nggak ada yang berubah. Oh, bawa Griden sekarang. Siapa yang diganti? Kramo, bukan. Kramo mati itu. Sarina ganti Griden. Sarina tuh itu. Oh, Trevenant. Trevenant diganti Griden.
The way T2 is playing this game out, I have to feel like these Dreadnought losses are just par for the course. They understand that they're going to be behind going into these objectives. They're like, that's okay. We're playing for the mid to late game with this Zarina, and our Zarina is getting ahead in the top path.
Their best secure right now in the game is maybe Heavy Slam, and that's nothing compared to Draw on Aegislash. They need that to be able to secure these. Mame engaging with this team fight. Big Unite move from them. Level 9 and then some. Trying to fight over this Rotom. A ton of damage to it, but they do not secure it, and they go down. Bruv getting that with, I believe, the Unite move charge, and that is going to be a big amount of experience. Not to mention a ton of AOS energy is about to be deposited.
Yeah, and we can see kind of the difference there of getting that first Dreadnought.
Jadi turret di situ dong, gila.
Whoa!
Wow.
Stopping the reset with an egg bomb, knocking them up vertical, meaning they cannot teleport through that hyperspace hole. Is a huge KO there. Bruv is running soft boiled this game.
Nice.
It is giving them that healing
Dia ngambil soft boil.
Safeguard. Yeah, I mean, you have to think. Okay, Mame pushes up and actually goes down here. Kind of surprised to not see the Bliss
Keren ini skinnya Aegislash.
Agree more. Haruto getting some scores of their own in here in the bottom path. T2 split pushes so consistently here. No matter what, there is pressure on every part of the map.
Menumbalkan diri dia, spread. Untuk scoring ya guys ya.
All over the map, but they have to rotate constantly to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the levels here, Nouns Esports secured the first Dreadnought, but they are almost even across the board because T2 has been ahead in almost every team fight so far this game.
But T2 is definitely going to show more presence for this second Dreadnought coming up in about 15 seconds. Aegislash Haruta does have their Unite.
Apakah Dragonite itu lebih kuat dibandingkan Charizard di Pokemon Unite? Menurut gue iya. Dragonite lebih bagus. Oke. Rupanya hilang. Wah, Griden, Cok. Lihat Griden, Cok. Kan balik lagi. Ya dia mau nggak mau split push ke atas sih. Wah, hancur. Jago nih T2 nih. Jepang boleh-boleh lah. Ininya split push-nya. Nggak pakai hupa loh dia. Hilang Dreadnought. Tapi lu lihat Cramorannya itu di atas. Lu lihat Cramorannya guys. Tuh. Rata lagi Cok bawah. Nah itu baru Lucarionya datang tuh ke atas. Dragonite secure objektifnya bagus, iya. Dia secure objektif bagus, dia pindahnya bagus. Apa movement speednya juga bagus. Charizard itu dia jago banget kalau pas ulti aja. Kalau Dragonite tuh dia masih kayak apa ya? Ya itulah pokoknya. Lebih bagus lah menurut gua. Dia lompat bisa jauh, movement bagus, damage output bagus. Tebel juga. Charizard tebel, damage bagus, tapi dia bener-bener max potensialnya itu pas dia ulti. Kalau enggak kurang. Tuh dia ngedef Rotom sendiri ya. Iya, maju lagi. Balik lagi kan dari Hupa. Griden itu. Oh, lompat kan Dragonite-nya. Kena ke tembok. Masih aman, masih aman. Gila dia berarti heal-healannya sekarang 3 cuy. Lupa. Griden, Blissey.
single member of Nouns has hit that important break point.
Iya, udah
This
level
is what
13
I
aja.
mean when Nouns Esports just does not have a second to breathe.
Ini Kramoran apa emang buat
Constantly
split push ya dia?
ruin is a thorn in the side of Nouns that they didn't even know they had that side. They are rotating so often and just making sure
Gila
that
loh dari
Nouns
tadi.
cannot take any easy fights.
We've talked about Nouns taking a lot of fights 4 versus 5 here, and it looks like we're going to actually have that again here potentially. But T2 is just so good at taking these fights while overmatched in terms of numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
hilang
Dreadnought gets
lagi ya
absolutely
Dreadnought.
demolished by Nouns Esports.
Sekarang metanya
T2
Dragonite
giving
Hyper Beam.
no
Dari dulu
attention to
Hyper
that,
Beam anjir.
instead favoring positioning around this Zapdos. Now, surprised that Ruin is not the one that is going there.
Charizard Unite gak bisa Mega Evolve, jadi wajar ampas. Buset, kalau Mega nanti update gitu ya, bisa Mega gitu. Wah, anjir. Goblok sih pasti. Tapi nggak menutup kemungkinan lo bisa Mega. Curang tapi jadinya. Oke, tinggal kontes Zapdos lagi nih. Pancing dulu, pancing dulu. Pancing dulu bosku. But, set. Oke. Bel ya. Wait, masuk nih, masuk udah ulti semua. Itu dapat cuk. Wah, gila Ramonya. GG, non kalah dong ke comeback cuy. Tercomeback bos.
That is all of the 100-point dunks raining in here for T2. I think the writing is on the wall
Gila
for
T2 ya.
EU's champion here, Zoinks.
Konsisten loh Kramorannya lo, gila. Dia nggak peduli, nggak dapat Dreadnought segala macem, bodo amat anjir.
Yeah, I mean, not only was the out secure impressive there from Mame, but they out team fought at every point.
Terus dia draftnya konsisten ya, nggak berubah. Aegis Slash, Snorlax.
Almost felt even, but every time all of T2 members showed up, Nouns Esports just got obliterated.
Mame is getting another K onto this list. A absolute phenomenal performance from them. Level 14 in that Zapdos fight. They've obviously hit that 15 marker now.
740 banding 100.
All done and dusted except the credit reel. T2 with a huge victory in game number 3. They're going to move along in our
Nggak ada Trevenant.
Very easy to see why T2 was one of our
GG, seru banget ya.
undefeated teams from the Swiss portion.
Itu Aegis Slash-nya zoningnya bagus banget, Blissey-nya nggak bisa masuk. Iya tadi dari tadi di push terus. Tadi Blissey-nya masuk pas Zapdos-nya seperempat, di ulti ke tengah kan. Tapi udah abis duluan. Oh, pakai switch guys. Ada yang pakai HP juga tapi. Gila, GG itu. VGC kemana nih VGC? Gila, ini masih yang tadi. Iya, masih 1-0, masih yang tadi nih.
100-point lead here as we look at the scoreboard. Knockout after knockout.
GG. Oke, kita balik ke sini ya guys ya. Ya, tapi ini masalah ya.
For that confirmation, I just want to talk a little bit about Galisopop because I feel like everybody is going to be talking about this Pokemon right now. We can even hear it in the venue, and you know, the last time I saw Galisopop was actually in the trading card game, and now I almost do wonder if.
Kita di sini aja dulu guys. Memang sudah pasrah, gak kalah poin jauh. Iyalah udah nggak bisa sih dia. Cuma tadi kalau Zapdosnya keambil menang tuh Naun. Udah kalah di zoning duluan tuh, lihat grafiknya. Tadi yang dibilang sama Babang siapa tuh tadi? Zapdos, soal Zapdos Unite. Memang Zapdos Gaming guys. Itu VG sih Bang Ferry.
We are taking a look at some highlights from
ini highlightnya nih,
this
tadi
third
nih.
game that made T2 the first winners in the day 2 of our championship.
Nih ya. Dia nggak peduli loh, si T2 tuh. Tuh, Dreadnought dapet, atas nge-push, Rotom dapet. Objektif terus kan, Dreadnought, Rotom.
Team T2 really demonstrated mastery of the fact that Pokemon Unite is a game that is ultimately about that 2-minute mark team fight. They showed
Emang
up
paling
in
penting
these
tuh di 2
games
menit
2
terakhir
and 3
sebenarnya.
and just utterly dominated Nouns Esports in the most important
Tuh, colong
engagement of the game.
40. Nah, di sini nih tadi nih.
To give up on objectives that they know they had no chance of winning, namely first Dreadnought when they still had a Doublade, and allow Ruin to split push, get an AOS
Padahal dari segi objektif
and
kalah
allow
loh.
Doublade to score, to clear their own central area.
Abis di akhir aja emang di Zapdos lagi. Non kalah Zapdos. Memang Zapdos Gaming guys ini game. Tuh build-nya ya tadi yang mau lihat si Mame. Storm, drop kick, full heal, weak paw, focus band, attack weight. Boleh lah nih. Kita tiru guys build-nya guys. Build world guys.
Mame is well on their way to a world championship title here at our first ever event like this.
One thing I'd like to talk about that you said is
Mainnya harus siap
T2
mental
kind of
memang sih.
skipped objectives they didn't think they had a chance
Gak
to
bisa
get.
lo
And
kalau
I'm
nggak
not
siap
even
mental
trying to
anjir
phrase
capek
it that
lawan
way. To
ini
me,
mainnya.
it felt like they just didn't think
Wah,
the
masalah
objective
semua dong
mattered.
kanan
They
kiri.
felt like they could get more value in other places, and the way they came in over leveled was just so
Ya udah kita nonton
impressive.
dia aja dulu ngoceh ya. Kita nyantai dulu aja guys. Ingat tim GX pas lawan musuh top 100. Iya cuy, itu gila banget. Terus menang gara-gara Zapdos kan kita. Oh ini ada translator ya orang Jepang.
皆さんおめでとうございます。今日高島さん、おめでとうございます。今日2日目を迎えましたけれども、今のご感想、お気持ちをお話しください。
そうですね。まあとりあえず今めちゃめちゃ嬉しくて、まあこの試合に勝てたこともすごい嬉しいです。
I'm just absolutely happy, and also to have won the match. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, it was a great showing by the team. Of course, you faced down Nouns Esports, a very tough team. What do you think your keys to success were to win this match today?
素晴らしい
Poken nggak ada bang, ada.
試合だったんですけ
Mau
れど
cek
も、
Poken.
そして対戦相手
Nggak,
も
gua mau fokus
大
dua
変
ini aja lah.
弱い相手だったと思うんですけれども、このような
ada
勝利を
Poken.
迎えられた勝因は何だったのでしょうか。
そうですね。まあいつも通り
TCG Pokemon Go.
I believe that
Oh,
like
Poken
we
nggak ada
were
Poken.
able to play the game as we are
PG, TCG,
already
Pogo.
prepared for.
Absolutely.
Unite.
A great showing, Takashima, by you. Of course, holding that cute little Blissey there in your hand. Congratulations. Big time win early on the stage. I'm going to throw
Nyantai
it
dulu ya
back
guys
to
ya.
you all up in the booth.
そうですね。いつものように。
Thank you very much, Snacks, for that one. That was a fantastic interview. Takashima with an amazing performance today. I loved watching their gameplay.
Let's take a look at what else we have coming up here today in
Oke,
our
masih
upper
panjang ya, Yus, ya?
bracket. Blackhand versus No Show.
Blackhand lawan No Show. Nah ini No Show nih sama Renaissance. Renaissance tuh yang dari Sea tuh.
Fantastic best of 3. T2 the match that we just watched being
No Show juga ya, No Show ya, Bang
victory
Ferry.
over Nouns Esports.
I'm looking so forward to the rest of these games. T2 versus Black Cannon Winners Finals. Maybe it is going to be so many good games today. I cannot wait, but I gotta wait just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We are going to break, but we will be back.
Masuk
very
dulu kan,
soon
break dulu
with
guys.
more World Championships action.
Masuk dulu deh, kata dia. Terus ini juga lagi ada technical
Look
issue.
at a
Ini
matchup
VGC
in
nih,
Team
technical
Preview
issue
and think,
mulu ya dari
I have
kemarin.
so many options here. Which are the optimal ones to choose against this matchup? And particularly taking a look at kind of
Masalah
the way
mulu dari
Ko is
kemarin
playing
nih.
these
Switch
games out,
ribet
really
banget
thinking
dah.
every second
Kita nonton
and
apa
every
guys?
turn.
Pogo.
That also means that Tatsuya gets the benefit of those seconds as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you're waiting for your opponent to lock in a
TCG,
move,
TCG
that
lagi
is
dapat
still
TCG.
time that you can utilize to be able to
There
think,
is
how am I
still
going to adapt to this? What are they
definitely a
actually
TCG,
doing?
TCG boleh lah,
And those
TCG lah.
might-
Daripada
I mean,
nggak ada
what have we
tontonan,
got? We
TCG
do
dulu
have
guys.
a Sobble coming down. That's the problem when you're so far behind like this. There are too many.
Gue kalau
things
gabut
that
sampai
you
sekarang
want.
masih nontonin
You want a
GX
second
Pushing season 1
Falcon, you want an
anjing.
energy
Zaman-zaman kita
attachment,
try hard.
You want a couple of Sobble, and then I mean, to be fair, you don't really need Manaphy so much. The fact that the
Palkia lawan Palkia, aduh bosan banget gue ngeliatnya
means
anjing.
the
Gak ada lagi
chance
apa?
of a Radiant Greninja attack is extremely small.
Kangen
But you
momen
still
goblok
need
aja
your
goblok
second
banget.
Palkia,
Zaman-zaman
couple of
sama
Sobble,
bos embut.
energy attachment for the turn, and even then you're pretty much giving up a prize at least because there's no real way to stop Otavio taking a KO here.
Yep, discard
Oh,
of the mana feed
ngantuk.
from Calvin. A calculated risk, I think, so he can get these second 2 prize Pokemon into play. Also will be developing a Sobble here. I think it's going to be another pretty awkward turn. Calvin hoping that it's difficult for Otavio to take multiple prize knockouts again, and he's hoping to get another
No-show
clutch
Korean
comeback
yang
by the
ada
looks of
ceweknya kalau nggak
things.
salah. Oh, itu no-show ya. Yang saya berarti Renaissance doang ya.
Otavio was able to take a 2-prize KO without needing to use any of his gusting. So all 4 of those cross switcher, that boss's orders, they're all still available. They're all still potentially on the board. So that is going to make it easier for Otavio to potentially gust those 2-prize Pokemon and take those KOs. So we do see an energy onto Greninja. Is it going to be a retreat? No, it kind of can't be. You need the Sobble's too important. And you've got to make your opponent work for 2 prizes. You don't want to give up raiding Greninja, but I think when you look at Calvin's board,
pukul-pukulan aja ya Pogo ya.
How will Otavio navigate this then? Already eyeing up cross-switcher plays. And do you want to go chasing down another 2-prize Pokemon? You were so close in that last game, but I think this time you have even more outs that are good for you. It feels really awkward when you were punished so hard.
Pogo pukul-pukulan aja anjir, nggak ada ininya.
You have to just trust the process, trust that if you are hit with a Roxanne once again that you're not going to fall into the same trap.
And I think there is an element on Otavio's side here where you basically just go, I'm fine. Like, I've got enough outs. I'm going to keep a Drizzle on the board. I'm going to keep a Sobble on the board. I'm going to thin my deck as much as I can. But let's face it, Otavio knows that statistically speaking, he should have drawn out of that Roxanne. He should have gotten out. So that means you don't... There's actually double cross switcher already in hand, Joe. It's already there.
I think there's going to be a fairly routine... shady deal here. You can get capacious
gitu doang,
some
Pogo.
more energy attachments.
Sama pemilihan timnya aja sih menurut gua kalau Pogo.
Maybe an Irida play. It's going to be another evolution incense.
Yeah.
So that he can evolve into another V-star here, I would imagine.
Ambil incense sama ember ya. Incense ngambil V-star.
The most possible outs to a potential Roxanne coming down. You do want to make sure that there's a maximum amount of things that can go right from there. But we see things like a capacious bucket being played.
Semua deck
Sure, you've got
Palkia.
energy attachment, but also one of the things Otavio is thinking is, yay, now I can draw that off a Roxanne. I don't want to draw that off a Roxanne. It's now in the discard pile. And we saw this with N back in the day. We're seeing it with Roxanne now. The fewer cards you can leave in your deck when you're in range of a Roxanne, the more outs you get. So thinning every possible card is absolutely huge. Because you know that's what Calvin's going for. There is a cross-switcher play. Doesn't matter which Palkia comes up. They're both identical.
Busma nih cross-switch.
We see the Palkia coming active. And we're going to see potentially... Have we seen attachment for turn yet?
We can Melanie here.
There we go.
To get ourselves the energy back that he's just discarded with concealed cards. 3 more for Otavio. It's got a really interesting debate because he's drawn into his own path. You could path Calvin and make it even more difficult for any response attack to come down. But you kind of also like having the training court because it can protect you against Roxanne.
Yeah,
he's going to go aggressive though.
I prefer. I don't want to play the path. I want Radiant Greninja in play if I do get Roxanne, but there's also the counter argument of, yeah, well, the less likely to Roxanne me. Oh, we do see the concession here. So now we are going to 1 game each, and it is important to know that first game took about half an hour. There is about half an hour left. Time is not a huge issue.
Wow, udah mulai lagi, Cok. Gila, Cok. Cepet banget nih, Unite. Gini dong, enak kita.
Well, they're representing themselves in a big way here.
Okay, Renaissance.
Qualifying as the only team from that region, but making it through day 1, representing hard
ada Kramoran
here.
lagi. Oh, ada Venusaur. Garde. Slow bro. Wow.
On both sides. No Hoopa over here from Iclin. Something that they are kind of known for, you know, premiering this strategy without bringing a Hoopa in there. Instead, we've got this
Booster Loss abis versi Indo kapan? Wah, kalau Indo jangan nanya gue lah.
You know, I love the slow bro, and I am excited. I got it. The pin on my lapel is a slow bro. I'm sending my energy, of course, that way. I love that.
Yang Inggris nanti LBB kita.
Kalau
udah rilis, ntar dikabarin nih guys ya.
Amazing story behind Iclin that I would love.
Gak tahu sih ini gue pilih mana sih, Fer.
You have been singing their praises for a while here, Doob Snacks.
Gue butuh lihat match 1 dulu nih.
2017, another team battler. These 5 friends got together. They won for the OCE region, and they qualified for that international event. 2018, the same event cropped up.
Lebih bagus moveset apa Blissey ya?
They spiked that event. They go to the international yet again. And then fast forward 4 years, 2022, they're at a barbecue at UTG's house.
Softball
Hear about
bagus.
Pokemon Unite, download the game. win themselves
Oke,
the OCE
Guardiannya
region. They're
jungle
back
ya.
on the international stage. iClan, 5 friends getting it done the big way.
Ini gue penasaran nih, venue-nya masih dipakai soalnya. Venue-nya ngapain ya? Build-nya.
From the barbecue to the world stage here. Purple team Renaissance, and I see a little bit of a guard of war on our purple team. You love to see it.
Oke, Trillian bawah ya. Trillian bawah, jungle-nya nggak ada. Nggak ada jungle.
A little paltry in the early game, trying to get big for the late game.
Here we go. Cramorant very mean early, but I mean we're going up against the
Tuh si Ribongs pakai HP tuh. Oh, nunduk ke bawah gini pasti pakai HP. Yang ngadep depan pakai switch.
Yeah, Ribongs trying to put the screws to Friff in the front fade. They get stunned down real quick by the hoop on a great astonish. Friff forced to retreat and getting a little bit of heals.
Looks like our Dratini is heading up to that top path here. Ooh, they're trying to
Ngeselin
take
banget anjir slow bro-nya.
So hard to do, but they managed to pick up that big KO.
Feeding
kayaknya yang tim Renaissance ini HP semua nih.
You do not want this thing, you don't want this Curly to hit a Gardevoir too quickly, and already being level 5 at this stage of the game is a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankyou pushing in here just like every Zarina knows they can do. Once it's level 6, just so incredibly mean. Oh my gosh, those side shocks coming in so much damage. Thankyou can't be stopped.
Thankyou's trying to find it, and they do. KO Streak a 2 for them. You want to talk experience flood in one way.
Hilang lagi nih upahnya nih. Wah, hampir.
Just on the absolute brink here as Thankyou comes back and they're trying to get their points in. A little glide to get that shield, and some points are going in.
iClan looking clean up here in
iClan.
this top
Oh,
half.
iClan
Renaissance
bacanya.
Gardevoir looking amazing as well. I think the question is going to be, what's going to carry harder, this Serena or this Gardevoir?
You know,
Anjir, slow bro-nya kocak banget.
the success of Kamiru yesterday, Kamiru can definitely take over a game once they are that Gardevoir. They're looking to level up quickly. On iClan
Iya, nanti versi Inggris gue kabarin ya EMC Gaming. Kalem aja ntar kalau udah buka LBB pasti dikabarin. Kalau ada yang pakai Buzzwole gimana? Nggak boleh pakai Buzzwole di sini. Buzzwole Tiranitar Glaceon nggak boleh. Yang baru keluar nggak.
Venusaur heading back, getting healthy here while we continue fighting up here.
Yeah, Kamiru actually staying great on the outside. They're
Balik
spacing
duluan
well, but
anjir.
now they're collapsing on the rest of the teams on the back.
Balik sehat lagi bos. Apakah bisa? Atau sama aja? Sama aja bos. Udah balik padahal. Oh gila.
Wow. What amazing plays here from iClan. Just an incredible performance. As soon as they went back to heal through that hyperspace hole, they knew they had their opening and took down that Kirlia. Still not a Gardevoir. Very close. They will have it here in just one moment for Dreadnought, but not yet its Unite move.
Oke, udah Garde ya.
iClan has a Unite move on their Serena, and that's
Langsung ke
very
Dreadnought.
Yeah, this Dreadnought fight is going to be critical. iClan wants to take it and then really take over the game here. Dreadnought is lined up, but it's actually the Gardevoir Kamiru that takes it down. The Unite move comes out, and they're coming back the other way. Ivysaur gets a KO on Dragonair. They're going to try and push it. Renaissance is pushing in the face of iClan. Using these shields, using this HP. A big Unite on the Cram sends them back into planet Earth. KO Streak and 2 for
gantian, comeback bawah nih. Bawah jebol dulu bawah. Tung.
What a smart play there by Renaissance. They recognized they were behind. As soon as that Serena was going to make it
Dodio kayak Azumaril, speedster by one.
They took Dread as fast as possible, got that level 9, and then you saw that beautiful
iClan menang soalnya mereka main cepetin level. Makanya tadi si Renaissance tahu dia ketinggalan level langsung fokus Dreadnought dia buat ngejar dan dapet. Sekarang Rotom nih. First objective menit 4. Rotom. Nah langsung zoning ya Kramonya. Wah Dragonite langsung. Waduh. Oke balik. Datang lagi. Iya.
Yeah, Yang's looking pretty fed right here. Already level 10
tahan
on
Rotom
this
tapi
Venusaur,
aman.
one of the highest levels.
Aman.
Tied for the highest level in the entire match, and that's going to be a mean Pokemon
Baru 3 menit loh. Memang begini ya ini. 3 menit, 4 menit udah begini guys. Tidak berlama-lama. Iya, kesenai Kramonya.
No way home.
UTG lining up a Hyper Beam.
Oke,
They're going to get one for themselves, of course, but not before the Hoopa sent them packing.
Hilang lagi kah Sarinanya? Hilang Sarinanya. Di revenge bawah jebol ya.
Honestly, I don't even think they made it to the ground.
Yeah, just a body falling back to earth, no worries.
20 seconds now
Ini
until
venue-nya menarik sih. Venue sama Slowbro ini menarik
two
banget.
teams have just been throwing punches all match here. A lot of great picks
Kok
by
poinnya
both
nggak ada
of
ya
them.
si Iclan?
Levels very, very close.
13, 6, 16, 13. Oh, itu yang mereka pegang ya? Sorry. Itu yang mereka pegang, guys.
And that's usually a difference maker at Dread number 2.
Early Bliss assistance coming through, trying to find their mark on rebounds. They're working through a big KO by the Carnivore and the Dragonite. That's usually not going to be able to secure. They're coming back. Frith is getting low as well. Thankyou as well. And they're all caught in the Cram Unite. KO streak at 2 for the Carnivore.
Juga ini Gardenya, jaga jaraknya.
But here we go, half HP pushing forward.
Sakit loh kalau Gardenya nggak diurusin.
But they're on the brink as well.
Oke, balik.
KO streak at 3 from Kamiru, level 12, and this Dreadnought's going down easy.
Dapat lagi nih Renaissance Dreadnought-nya. Kalau keburu, pertanyaannya keburu nggak? Oke, dapat, cakep.
NT says I'll show you how the egg bombs work, and they go ahead and seal it up for Renaissance, and it kind of jarred us both.
Ngeri banget,
We
bro.
saw that egg bomb hit the air, and the Blissey for Iclan did not take it.
Berani
Look,
loh, Garde loh.
Blissies are good at securing things,
Mana
whether
dia
it's
tanggal 2 baru
Renaissance
keluar.
Blissey or Iclan's
Langsung
Blissey.
dapat, battle pass-nya langsung buat dia lagi.
Wiped off the board there at
Ini
that
September ya
Dreadnought
berarti ya?
fight. Got another fight breaking out here. Here comes Rebounds.
Renaissance feels that they have the strength and they're
Keluar lagi
engaging
di atas,
deep. They're
gila.
going into it hard. Pengu's on
Venue-nya
the
masih
first
ngambilnya
going
sama
down.
build-nya ya.
Another Bliss assistance picked up by
Petal Dance.
Rebounds here. They're going to try and push forward. Kamiru just shooting
Tiga
blasts from
sama.
backline, and they're taking down and taking in so much damage for Iclan, and they're trying to stem this thing, but it's so tough.
Agak
Take a
tembus-tembus
look
cok
at these
atas cok.
eggs. I mean,
Dipukulin mulu
constantly
venue-nya
these
mau
eggs
scoring.
from Iclan are amazing.
Dor!
They stop them from scoring maybe
Habis,
1,000
mati.
times in a row.
Waduh.
But all this damage coming in, Rebounds just so incredibly
Ribong.
diving into the back line here, looking for that
Balik.
corner, and they get it. Gardevoir taking it down.
Great reset, another KO
gila.
streak of 3.
Udah bagus loh
for the
tadi padahal.
Gardevoir. They're going to get tons of points in this bucket
Sarinanya,
here.
coy.
An overcap of 32 points.
Dreadnought kena
and
telur
this road
sakit.
is going to go into the face of Iclan.
Garde sakit,
Iclan
Pak.
is in
Sakit
trouble
banget.
right
Garde
now.
kalau nggak
Feels like
diurusin, wah.
Renaissance is really got the momentum inside this
Nuker
match.
dari belakang
Levels
itu
are
dia.
looking beautiful. I mean, that's a level 14 Gardevoir, 13 Venusaur, 13 Zarina. I could say more numbers,
Garde
but you
perlimbang
get
gak
it.
sih
Their
kalau
levels
bisa
are
pasifnya lebih
huge.
cepat, menjarak serangan
Now,
diperluas.
Iclan isn't that far behind. If they can get this third
Susah
Dreadnought,
sih ya.
take care of this Rotom, get all the wild Pokemon on the map they can,
Garde
maybe
kayaknya
get a
sempat
pick,
di-buff deh.
right back into with that experience.
You know, it's really interesting. We've got this
Tapi
slow
masih
bro
kurang
running
juga ya
Skull, but
dibandingin
there's
yang
really
lain.
only one member of the enemy team that is extremely useful for, and that would be the Zarina. I mean, your Skull
Renaissance comeback
lowers
soalnya
attack,
dapat
so
2
it doesn't
Dreadnought.
really hurt
Belum tentu
Venusaur
ini
too
balik
much,
lagi ke Zapdos
doesn't
Gaming
really
nih.
hurt Gardevoir too much. I
Menit
wonder
2,
if they
menit
would
2,
try to
ingat
play
menit 2.
Surf into this enemy team if they were to face them again with the same composition.
Well, without the future sight that Gardevoir is currently packing, Iclan does not have the privilege of switching up now. So Puffs is dealing with Scalds.
Here we go. 20 seconds now until Zapdos. Both teams, by the way, not hanging out at Dreadnought, was not invited to that barbecue.
Dreadnought-nya kagak diurusin katanya. Langsung secure ya busnya ya. Iclan dari atas masuk, Dragonite-nya sama Cramoran nge-buff dulu.
Tall grass. Renaissance right now holding their Gardevoir outside this fight. They know if this Pokemon gets caught early, they're in a lot of trouble. Here we go. Just moving around this Zapdos a little bit right now. Both teams being pretty cautious in this moment. They don't want to make a big mistake as we get ready for a massive fight. Their first Zapdos here in day 2. And here we go. Ooh, big Hyper Beam coming in. Everyone's still being pretty confident. Here comes this big fight.
Puffs heals up very quickly. They're going to have to try and catch a
Slowbro
reset. They
langsung
go
hilang
down
ya.
to the Venusaur. They're beating them. The Hoopa Unite comes out, and they're all over the Zapdos. We're looking to burn this thing down. Who's going to take it? It's Renaissance in an easy way here. 4 players down for
Dapat
Iclan. Where did
langsung
they even
rata,
go?
bos.
Snapped off
Wipe
planet
out,
Earth.
bos.
KO
Gila.
Streak at 3, Jurassic Park. We eating out here. The Venusaur with the Gardevoir are getting it done.
Whoa, 4
Venu masih gila, Venu berarti. Wah, gue butuh lihat nih build Venunya nih, anjir. Wah, ada Kendro, apa kabar Ken?
One way, thank you Thanos. At least Renaissance would be saying that. What a fight. I mean, they dominated.
Gak banyak score-sheet udah di nerf soalnya.
For Yang level 15, and now they're just playing with their food a little bit, trying to get more points. And Iclan down over 600.
Wow, I mean, was it the Hoopa? Was it the Venusaur? There's definitely some
Gardenya nggak kesentuh ya cuy, Gardenya jaga jarak banget.
Renaissance really feels
Gue mau lihat nih build
at about
Venunya
the
nih,
halfway
asli.
mark of this game, they turned it on and they did not stop.
Halo semuanya yang baru pada datang, selamat sore guys. Selamat hari Sabtu. Selamat Sabtu. Yo, Flices, welcome. Thank you udah join trainer. Udah lama nggak mampir. Iya, gue juga baru streaming lagi nih, kan pengen streaming lagi memang. Tapi mungkin nggak sering-sering Pokemon nanti setelah beresin Infinity masih lama sih. Mau main game PS5 kan ntar kan. Biar kita nggak stuck Pokemon terus ya, biar nggak bosan. Makanya nih Venu masih sama build-nya, nggak tahu nih ranting nih, gue mau lihat nih. Halo Fazila. Oke, bos meng-spam emot-emot terbaru dari membership Falkro ya. Halo Flices. Oke, GG Renaissance ya. Luar biasa. Mana nih, gue pengen lihat build-nya cuy.
Renaissance, however, bringing it into that fight, getting a big secure, and getting a big win.
Yeah, I don't think Hoopa not being on iClan was the story of their demise there. I think they got
di awal sebelum game ada, iya. Nanti ada lagi, makanya gue tadi belum ngejepret, belum foto.
Renaissance was able to catch back up by taking that. I think things are way different if iClan takes that. Let's take a look at some numbers. 11 KOs for Kamiru, Yang with 9, all of which were almost in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that was massive for Yang, and that's what Venusaur does. Take a look at that Gardevoir, 134,000
134.000 tuh, lihat damage-nya Garde. Bilang kalau nggak diurusin Garde, damage-nya tuh.
UTG 73,000. But boy, that Gardevoir really paid
off. 130,000, cok.
Only team running it that we've seen here in the World Championship.
I'll tell you what, every time we've seen it, looks good. They are taking care of business, Kamiru is. And of course, Renaissance holding on to that point lead, but we know it was all about that experience lead that they had for pretty much since the 7-minute mark.
Halo, Case Boss.
And of course allows them to take Zapdos again in convincing fashion.
Yeah, impressive work there. Let's take a look at some of these big moments. Here's Renaissance.
Oh, ini ya. Big momennya. Ini tadi yang di sini gila sih. Dia udah balik, bukan yang ini nih. Ada satu lagi. Dia udah balik full darah lagi, abis lagi, cok. Sama iClan, tapi di comeback jauh sama Renaissance.
Yeah, iClan had a second moment of this right here, just amazing engagements. But you know what? The big problem here was they didn't make it down in time for Dreadnought. So while these fights were really impressive, I think Renaissance was so smart to just take this
lo kontrol terus attackernya sama speedsternya.
iClan couldn't even make it in to use that massive Arena Unite.
Yeah, of course. You know, getting that Dreadnought meant Kamiru ticks over to level 9, has their Unite move if they want to use it, and they leverage
Bang, siapa bang? Bang, join member dulu.
Here we go. Every highlight.
Enak aja, kamu mau enaknya doang.
Into the sky, kicking him down. Both Serenas doing incredible work here. Slowbro with the big skulls, but there was those massive.
Udah rehat main lore kah? Sekarang lagi rehat sih. Mau main lagi ntar nunggu Kane update.
Both teams very conservative, kind of threw everything they had, the kitchen sink into the center, but it's Renaissance that comes out ahead, and it's that Venusaur that comes in with the hard carry.
Yeah, big old 4 KOs there for Yang. Beautiful win for Renaissance. I don't even know if you need to pull the face with a smile after that one. I think you might be
Nah, ini dia nih build Garde yang dikasih lihat ya. Gila, 2 kacamata, cok.
Look at that loadout.
I love it. I love a
ini nih.
Span on a Gardevoir. They jump in on you and you want to stay healthy.
Ganti build.
Hello, iClan. I'm loving what you're
oh, tuh Venusaurnya ada tuh, Venunya nih, guys. Venunya sama aja, nggak ada bedanya. Nggak ada bedanya Venunya, cok.
Yes.
Enjoy the moment while you're on stage.
Build Venu gua itu mah nggak ada bedanya. Fokus band body barrier ini masuk. Cuma ini bawa Eldegoss Blissey gila kali. Macam.
So they could be going for more of an attack focused Eldegoss right here. And of course, Renaissance isn't changing anything. When you win like that, you're bringing that team right back in there. We can see them loading in right now. Here we are, World Championships. Day 2, the biggest games these teams have ever played are all going to happen today. And you could be looking at your future world champion right now.
Absolutely. iClan on your right-hand side of your screen, Renaissance on the left. Both of these teams gearing up. I like the face cams. You know, I know when they're in action, their heads tilt down, but right now when they're just eyeing down the screen, it looks good.
It does. It looks incredible. Look, when you're in it, you're in it.
No, without a doubt.
You get right into that screen. When I'm playing, I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes it's way too close. I don't know what's going on Tuesdays, but here we are. Game 2, iClan, your purple team, Renaissance, your orange team. Here we are in our winner's bracket. So if either team loses here, they will still stay in this tournament. But you do not want to head down to the loser's bracket early.
No, you do not. This poor Machop going to be playing with the Gossifleur, both Pokemon looking to evolve quickly. On the backside, Yang and NT going to try and beat them down. Gossifleur, oh, a little bouncy KO for Renaissance.
Ada medal loh, tapi kayaknya nggak guna. Nggak tahu, dari tadi nggak dikasih lihat build medalnya.
Early right now, and you know, Icon looked great early last game. So
ini jadi bawa 2 healer loh. Bawa Blissey sama Eldegoss. Memanggis tuh, manggis lagi. Renaissance tetap ya dengan Garde Venus Arena nggak berubah. Icon berubah di Macam sama Eldegoss.
Attack weight, special attack specs, Aeos Biscuit. If you are trying to stack those items and that Astonish can stop the enemy.
Spraggles casting, iya sih Spraggles guys yang
Let's see if they do it again. Nope, didn't need to.
Didn't need to. Pengu did get to hit level 4 there off a couple of those bees. At least a good start for them and a good sign for them as this poor Chansey is just trying to take over. But Mebius and Rebong see exactly what's going on and they're able to snuff that out and take that core fish for themselves.
No, Chansey, you will not evolve on our watch. It looks like it might be stealing that other core fish here. It might finally get its evolution. They're really trying to stop it, and they do.
Iya, suara si Spraggle.
Friff is just furious, not only getting KO'd for that
Manggis mah meta banget. Jago Manggis. Lihat aja dari tadi selalu ada Manggis.
Enemy Blissey right here, and I'm really curious to see how this Eldegoss is going to affect the match. One of the Pokemon who used to be the most popular in the entirety of Unite. Before Hoopa, before Blissey, there was Eldegoss. Before the barbecue even, I think.
Before the barbecue even, indeed. Support players used to say they're an Eldegoss shit. Rebong's coming through, and I think they got blanked out just in time to get
dilompatin Macok yang hilang.
Back the other way. Rebongs was on the verge of getting KO'd themselves. Snap out of
dia yang maju lompat yang hilang.
Double stomp, too easy, double KO.
Jago ya Renaissance ya.
Amazing right here. And here's one of the advantages of a Pokemon like Hoopa. They were able to just bring their whole team up here in quick fashion, get a nice
Hoopa nih bagus banget ininya buat perpindahan lane-nya tuh. Bagus, balik ke base-nya bisa langsung nge-heal gitu. Balik lagi teleport.
Rebongs 4 levels ahead of poor Friff. Poor Friff is just getting bullied right now. Double stomped into absolute marshmallow paste.
Nah geprek tuh, memanggis. Storm Trop Kick sekarang build-nya.
Spawning here in 2 seconds, and they're in amazing position to take it once again. Renaissance down here at Dreadnought. Icon, they really have no shot.
Tuning lagi ya, Venu ya, biasa ya.
Cakep.
Tuh, sama Garde, iya hilang, hampir hilang.
No, they're having some good fights throughout this, but they are not making it to these objectives. And the reason some of these objectives are so important is you get massive amounts of experience from things like Dreadnought. So it puts your team in a huge advantage early. It gets you Unite moves, and you can continue to.
Itu Dreadnought harus dapetin awal-awal. Pas next Sarina di nerf, Cramoran juga, si Tyranitar juga di nerf. Kalau Tyranitar sih ya hampir udah pasti ya. Sarina kena lagi ya berarti. Sian Macoknya dibully-bully. Ya lagian kocak bawa Macam anjing. Gue gak ngerti deh kenapa. Lihat nih jauh banget skornya.
Wrecking it, sending that Rotom towards Icon. Here, you deal with this thing.
Deal with it, they have to. Also, they have to take wild Pokemon. Also, they have to stop getting KO'd. Also, they have to KO the other team. A long
Bang, Pokemon Infinity kapan? Udah di-upload, Fir. Jangan nanya mulu. Bego. Nanti bego lo kamu. Kalau nanya mulu, padahal udah di-upload jam 3 tadi. Nanti jadi bego lo. Emang dari dulu ya Blissey itu. Kuncinya di support.
UTG finally gets a KO, but it's on a Blissey, and they're still getting the screws put to him by Renaissance as Icon finally stems this tide.
You know, and you gotta say, this was actually a great fight for Icon. Doesn't feel like it because they're just getting stomped on in their goals, but they were actually able to pick up a few nice KOs there, get some level parity amongst their teams. However, they are running down here to Dreadnought once again.
Itu Digimon mau di live ya? Iya, Digimon live aja ntar.
Both teams running though.
Soalnya Padahal lama kalau nggak di live. Infinity juga gue mau nge-live sih. Kemarin itu kan uploadan yang jam 3 bekas live. Cuma nanti besok gue mau jalan-jalan dulu. War, hilang. Tapi dicolong sama Sarina cuy. Tetap aja ya. Tetap aja bos. Walaupun Dreadnought-nya dicolong.
Renaissance just keeps pushing in these moments, winning every big fight, losing that objective. But I mean, that was a thief in the night. Serena jumping in there with a big old stomp. Right now, Renaissance still in control of this match, but there's some daylight here for Iclan. And they
PS5 juga kayaknya di live. Gak tau, lihat bentar ya guys. Gue sebenarnya males live tuh. Kurang suka gue sebenarnya sama live stream. Pokoknya ini karena nobar aja. Gue orangnya lebih nyaman record. Kayak Miao Auk gitu kan lebih prefer record dia daripada live stream ya. Kalau Brando kan lebih prefer live stream daripada record kayak gitu. Nah gue tuh orangnya lebih nyaman record sebenarnya. Cuma ya itu gue bingung kalau gue mau namatin beberapa game record ya susah juga, harus ngebut berarti. Gak boleh cari game yang lama-lama. Nah game yang gue mainin lama-lama semua. Jadi kalau gue record tuh bisa masa sebulan isinya 20 episode. Digimon doang kan gitu kan, jadi numpuk ya. Kalau diselang-seling nggak kelar-kelar. Ya lihat nanti lah guys. Mah gue lebih prefer record sih. Ini nggak ada band kah di Unite bang? Nggak ada. Cuma kemarin Pokemon yang baru keluar nggak boleh dipakai. Fazlur kayak Tiranitar, Bazul tuh belum boleh dipakai karena mungkin masih belum stabil kali ya. Jadi itu masih belum boleh dipakai. Kenapa pada suka Dropkick jago. Dia bisa ngedash, ngereset, dapat shield juga.
Arena and Gardevoir are absolutely mean. Hoopa, Blissey, and Pocket, they're moving as a unit.
Yeah, this is looking
Dreadnought terakhir nih sebelum Zapdos.
Another big chunk of experience, so they're going to be ahead heading into this final fight. But like you said, things are getting a lot closer score-wise. However, Renaissance in trouble. Blissey needing to make a quick retreat.
Safeguard getting them out of this one, and that's going to be a critical component to this last fight. But they all need to reset here and come back with full HP into this battle because they're going to need every single ounce of anything they got.
Kayaknya Renaissance lagi deh.
We can see Renaissance here just getting
tergantung nih dia blunder apa enggak nih, fakta atau enggak.
So they don't get caught by Zarina. Obviously, Iclan's Zarina, if it can pick up that Gardevoir and send it into the air, that's huge. And of course, Machamp's
berani loh dia 2 healer, macam lagi.
This fight is about to start.
Colong dulu, cepet.
Very patient here in these fights. I think they do a great job of letting Iclan make the first move so that they can react.
Ditahan ya sama Renaissance.
See what they do. They know they're ahead in this moment. Here we go, Rebongs just kind of
tuh Dropkick bisa kayak gitu guys. Sakit bos. Oke, kalem. Masuk tuh. Masuk tuh diincer Gardenya dulu kan. Gardenya langsung dilindungin. Tuh. Gardenya langsung diincer kan, tapi aman langsung di ulti Blissey. Oke, mencar ya. Baru Zapdos gak sih? Scoring biarin aja scoring, dibalas Zapdos. Gardenya tadi yang langsung di iniin.
Yeah, those are hundo burgers. They're on the menu and they ready to get eaten. That's the first hundo going in, second one going in here.
Sabar si Renaissance nih. Dia tahu dia leading tadi. Zapdosnya nggak di-initiate duluan. Langsung bedanya 400.
Renaissance not worried about that back cap action. They're just focused on the prize. 4 players down for Iclan. This one is almost elementary at this point. Renaissance.
Gila 2-0 Renaissance jago banget sih. Bagus, rapi men. Upa se-OP itu Bang, dibilang OP mah enggak, cuma paling bagus ininya. Untuk nge-support gitu dia bagus banget. Skill-skillnya tuh kayak apa ya, buat team fight tuh jago banget. Dia support dan dia ultinya bisa jadi kayak gitu juga. Bisa nge-teleport orang, bisa ngambil berry orang, bisa ini, bisa itu. Gila. GG bos.
Of the World Championships, looking fantastic.
Definitely not the start that Icon was looking for, but you have to tip the cap to Renaissance. Look at that disparity on the scoreboard. Almost 1,000 points for Renaissance.
I think Renaissance, you know, we were watching them yesterday, Doobsnacks, and you and I were talking a little bit about this. They are looking amazing. They are just playing so well. Icon is a fantastic team. I love some of the stuff they're bringing out here, but Renaissance is just brutal in these games. The combos they have set up with this Gardevoir and Venusaur, Serena knowing exactly who to take up into the air, it's really impressive.
Yep, the Williams sisters have a new set of Venu and Serena on their tails between Reeboks and Yang. They're getting it done. Did you see that? 8 KOs, 9 KOs respectively, putting a ton of work in. Good damage spread on the squad too. That means they were moving together. You know, the gamble on the Eldegoss for Puffs didn't quite pan out this time around.
No, unfortunately it did not, and I loved seeing that little LD here, but you know what? I think Renaissance might have loved it even more because they
were mau off ya, iya santai aja yang mau off guys. Gua sampai maghrib paling.
Renaissance going to be moving forward in your winners bracket. Look at that, head on points the whole time. Big match, Renaissance, Icon, a 2-0 here. Renaissance.
Yeah, Icon just could not get out of the starting blocks. I mean, they were so behind on trying to get their evolutions this game. I mean, Chansey was level 3 getting beat down by a Zarina here, and this Renaissance push was just one of many.
Yeah, I mean, Renaissance just all over Icon this game. I think, you know, both games they were really impressive, but this game it felt like they had them even earlier than they did in game number 1.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what can poor Puffs do in the face of those 4 players there in combination with Fripp, who had just barely hit the Blissey? I mean, this was the Renaissance show all over the place.
Yeah, Renaissance just doing amazing work here, scoring, just waiting for the perfect time to go.
Modelnya kayak ML ya, Pokemon lama bakal nggak kepake, lebih enakan Pokemon baru, nggak juga. Blissey itu Pokemon lama.
This is actually when things turned around a little bit for Icon, but then of course we remember the moment where things really didn't turn around for Icon, and that's when no one was at Zapdos because they were KO'd, and Renaissance was able to rein in 500 points in short order.
Absolutely. Icon did play to the
Jagolah Renaissance, boleh lah.
At that second Dreadnought, they needed a prayer play, and it was delivered by Thankyou. However, let's talk about this Venusaur.
Masih bahas yang tadi tuh, VGC itu lama banget.
Giga Drain Pedal Dance looking mean all over the map.
Mean
ini dia nih build-nya nih tuh. Sama aja, nggak ada bedanya. Muscle band, focus band, body barrier, Giga Drain, Petal Dance, full heal, nggak ada bedanya.
How they have this Pokemon set up because it takes a little while for that Venusaur to come online, and boy did it come online. We have an exciting moment for you here. We have an interview with one of the players here.
Ngaso dulu guys ya, ngaso dulu nyantai.
Let's send it on over to the incredible.
Banyak nggak ngerti time Pokédread ya itulah. Bocil-bocil yang bang mana Unite, bang mana ya itu mainnya coba pakai Absol scoring gitu. Gak ngerti dia. Yang ngebedain skillnya, iya, yang ngebedain skillnya. Makanya tadi gue penasaran, ini Venu ternyata masih kuat ya. Sama supportnya mungkin. Kalau Venunya nggak disupport gitu mungkin susah ya. Cuma supportnya asik banget dia tadi. Kayak Blissey-nya ngelindungin gitu-gitu. Makanya jadi kelihatannya ini nggak mati-mati, tebel. Ngaruh soalnya tim guys. Kalau lu main solo mungkin Venu sendirian gitu kayak gitu nggak bakal bisa. Medal belum ada, emblem nggak bisa dipakai di sini. Belum pakai emblem ini.
If there was one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring Pokemon Unite player, what would you want to tell them?
Gua asar dulu ya guys ya.
Yeah, it takes a lot to be on this stage, and all the teams have sacrificed a lot to be here. So, props to everyone.
Asar dulu.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time and good luck in the rest of your matches today with Renaissance. Let's send it back on up to Doobsnacks and Spraggles at the desk.
Thank you very much,
What a legend.
I love it.
Reebongs, what a legend.
You got to grind really hard. You got to like this game. See, the question is, Doobsnacks, I grind really hard. I love this game. Why am I not this good?
It's because we keep playing with each other.
That might be it.
Our
Honestly,
Q numbers
that would
are
probably
in
be it.
the gutter. But, I mean, like what a nice player. Big time win. Could have really put it on the back of them and their teams, but the first thing they decided to talk about was all the other teams that came and qualified for the World Championships and what it takes to get to that point. I mean, class act.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's true. There are so many amazing teams coming from all over the world. I am so impressed with everything I'm seeing. Every time a team wins, I'm elated. At the same time, I'm heartbroken because some of these teams are heading home. Now, no one has gone home today yet. We have not seen anything in our losers bracket. Let's take a look at what's been happening here in the winners. T2 Nouns Esports. I mean, what a series. T2, Japan's region team, beating the EU Titan in Nouns Esports.
Yeah, Nouns Esports, a lot of people's favorites coming into this thing, sent to the losers bracket, and they've got an uphill climb to try and get to the finish line. We just watched Renaissance 2-0 Iclin in very convincing fashion. And Blackhand as well, moving on, beating No Show.
Yeah, and I got to see some of those Blackhand games, and those two teams were going at it. Those were incredibly close games.
If there's one thing we could say about the teams we've watched so far, they bout that action. They want to take the body.
That's right. Well, we will be back very, very shortly with more exciting action. Don't go anywhere or I will be very upset. Pokemon Unite World Championships.
IX Gaming right now is way ahead right here. We might be heading to a bracket reset. Like I said earlier, they want to be the best team in North America. That means you got to beat the best.
We are IX Gaming, and we are from North America.
What we're most excited about is to be here, meet all the different teams from different regions, and compete for the World Championships.
I'm mostly excited about competing against all the other regions, playing on the same playing ground, so we can see who truly is the best.
It's been really tough so far. We haven't had too much playing time together, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks at the most. So we've really been trying to overcome this obstacle of, okay, let's getting our game plan together, getting our synergy down.
One thing that Retsu is good at is that his comms are really good. He's very vocal and letting us know where everything is on the map and where to go. Kratos, he's really good at securing objectives. I feel like my greatest strength is that I play really well with my teammates and we have really good synergy together. OG, his strength would be he's really good at Lucario, playing top lane and 1v1ing other top laners. And Noodle, his greatest strength is he's mostly known for his Absol attacker and Serena as well. Also a big shout out to all of our friends, family, and fans as well. And we're going to do whatever it takes to win Worlds.
안녕하세요. 저희는 한국에서 온 팀 이터니티고요. 저희는 2월부터 6월까지 쭉 함께 했습니다. 여기는
세준, 헤론,
저는 루이고,
이벨, 잼준.
그리고 저희 뒤쪽에 보시면 식스맨인 NQ 선수가.
포켓몬 유나이트 첫 세계대회 국가대표로 참가하게 돼서 정말 감회가 새롭고 이번에 첫 대회인 만큼 좋은 모습 많이 보여드리고 돌아가보도록 하겠습니다.
노쇼랑 4월부터 6월까지 1등하고 2등을 이제 하게 됐는데 마지막 6월에서 저희가 2등을 해가지고 이번 대회에서는 노쇼보다 더 좋은 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
처음으로 그거 지역 결정전 준우승을 월드 챔피언에 와서 되게 긴장이 되지만 이제 그 아메리카나 유럽 쪽이 아시아 쪽을 살짝 무시하고 있는 경향이 있어가지고 저희가 이번 대회 확실하게 보여드려서 북미 쪽 이제 좀 큰 코 다치게 해드리겠습니다.
Our message to all the other teams is we're gonna take all the objectives and I'm gonna invade your area all the time and take all of the wild Pokemon.
Satu menit. Gila, ini masih bahas yang tadi loh. Worlds parah banget ya lamanya. Yang VGC. Close aja lah VGC-nya. Terlalu lama guys. Oke, nyantai dulu ya.
Hello everybody,
Wah,
and
dah.
welcome back to the Pokemon Unite World
Biar gak
Championship.
dehidrasi. Iya nih, minum gua udah mau habis.
And we got a banger for you, no mash coming up.
That's right, IX versus Eternity. We've got NA versus Korea, and they are heading into game number 3 right now. This one was not up on the main stage, but we got
Korea
lucky
nih,
enough
Korea.
to catch this one here. This is
Asli
gonna
deh, gue
be
berharap di
exciting.
Scarlet Violet kompetitifnya diperbaiki seenggaknya di fitur observer biar mempermudah, nggak harus lahan-lahanan. Dari dulu penyakitnya koneksi sih. Semoga ya Mas Gin ya, gue juga pengen comeback lagi nih Scarlet Violet, beneran gue pengen seriusin deh. Asli. Wah gila, 3 all-rounder. Sekarang ini game 3 nih. Oh ini kita spectate dulu nih. Ini game 3 dari Eternity melawan EX Gaming.
They're in a very tough group, but they find themselves now on the B stage, 1 game away from going into the top 4 of the winners bracket, exactly where they want to be, and a great place to start after they dominated their pool play.
We see our team setting up here, and if you get lucky, you might see us. Oh, you didn't get lucky, but here we go! IX Eternity, IX your purple team.
Oke, mari kita menonton lagi ya guys ya. Korea mekaniknya jago nih. Bentar, yang Korea tuh yang mana ya? Yang Korea, oh Eternity. Eternity Korea.
Right as we start heading into the central area of IX Gaming. That is what Greedent's known for. That is what Seijun is known
namanya kan
for.
Seijun.
Pokemon World Champion, and I don't know, maybe
ini Retsu kayaknya familiar deh.
There you go, but today it's all about Retsu as they peeled up and they're able to throw that big.
Gila, masih lo meta Greedent ngerusuin jungle.
Now Kratos is working on Seijun as well. As Seijun is just like, I just want this Bufalon. I just want it. And they get it.
Masih lo, gila lo.
They get the buff and they're off like a thief in the night.
Ngeselin banget anjir.
Continues to be mean, and that's going to be something that IX Gaming is going to need to deal with. Not only are they wasting some time and taking a buff away from.
Berarti solo di bawah si Jigglypuff ya dari tadi.
They are stopping it from getting its level 8 before Dreadnought. If
baru
they
hajar
can start
ini.
that Dragonite of experience, this is going to be massive for Eternity.
Yeah, Eternity off to the exact type of start
they ETY itu Eternity guys. Oh, langsung di stop.
They might lose some of that farm, leaving actually one of the lane A palms to the bottom path up, and that's available for their central path player if they want it.
Here we go. They're fighting here actually on this goal. OG trying to stop this here, but there are 3 members of Eternity. Looks like Pika Diff coming in. No, Snorlax, we're pushing you off.
I'm big body and I'm built different, says Pika Diff. We coming in hot and they.
Retsu inget R Santos, iya Restu anjir itu.
Now we're stacking up.
Now this is surprising, Dupe Snacks. Greedent once again in the central area of IX Gaming. This is going to be constant pressure right here as OG needs to get out of here. Ooh, the big X speed and the big miss. Whoa, what a juke! What a juke!
With the absolute save, and you gotta be hype on the. Those are the little moments that are game-changing moments. That KO, man, experience back the other way. Of course, we're taking a look at this Greedent. That's
enggak, bukan Seijun Park, cok. Nama Seijun tuh banyak. Bukan Seijun Park, Clay. Namanya aja Seijun.
This play is extremely difficult to pull off, heading all the way across the map into the enemy central area, securing that wild Pokemon experience. It's really tough to do, but when done right, it's so incredibly effective.
Astaga, bisa begitu lo karyonya.
Frustrating is an understatement. When I see a Greedent load up across the way, I am not too happy about it, Spraggles.
But you know I play Greedent.
Well, that's why we do OQ.
Here we go. 10 seconds until our B's, 30 seconds here until the big Dreadnought here at the bottom of that. IX ready to go here in the bottom path.
Yeah, they've got 4 players, and that's exactly what they want. Big engaged by Pika Diff, stuns up and goes up. Heron's on the verge, they have to roll out to get out as the Greedent's chunked as well. Now they're able to push forward. Pika Diff with another engage with the stomps coming through from Nudo.
Heran lo, Greedent masih aja ngeselin ya. Lupain montok. Wajat, wey!
Combo is Seijun gonna go down. They make it to a barrier. The point's gonna go in. At least for Snorlax, they do.
Geblek, di stop.
IX Gaming. I mean, Eternity is here to mess with them. IX Gaming's here to fight and take Dreadnoughts. Here we go. First one onto the side of IX Gaming. Huge experience advantage right now because of that.
Beneran Park Seijun itu yang bener loh.
Heavy slams have hit less than 2 players.
Bang udah klaim victim ini di Sword Shield, gue gak peduli itu. Gue gak ngeklaim apapun lagi di Sword Shield. Gue bener-bener gak peduli anjir mau ada kode apaan. Gue cuma nge-share doang ke kalian. Victim ini, terus yang TCG juga ada pay to the pick gold. Gue gak nge-redeem sama sekali.
I'm so confused. Why is Seijun almost on Eternity's side of the map here? It looks like we're getting ready for a fight up here at this Rotom. Eternity looking for a quick KO, and they get it. Rotom now
ya.
heading over towards
ke Korea.
Let me tell you a little something. Sejun, home is where you
Jepret.
made it on the side of
Sakit banget
Ice.
Hyper Beam.
Big push by Pikachu. They're going to try and buy some time so OG can dust
Oke,
this thing.
Dragonite
comes in with their Unite move.
datang ya. Ulti.
They leverage that into KOs.
Coba zoning.
Just kind of gives up on it.
Beresin Rotomnya dulu.
OG and Pikachu taking care of that Rotom, no problem. Eternity backing off intelligently.
Yeah, IX just looking like an iron wall there, pushing Eternity out. They could find no purchase for that Rotom.
Iya, gue nggak klaim itu kayak kemarin Dracovish-nya si apa? Dracovish-nya si Ash gitu gue nggak redeem.
Almost making it out. Almost making it out.
Almost making it out. Double stop by Nudo. Can they get the X1 in? Jamjoon would have went down if they could have.
Ini grand final kan ya? Iya kayaknya grand final. Ini perempat final nggak sih? Bener ya, beneran Sejun Park, serius lu? Yang bener lu. Nama Sejun banyak nih soalnya nih.
But I don't know, maybe it's time for Zarina.
Wah gila, beneran Sejun Park.
Eternity right now grabbing his
Pindah cabang berarti dia guys. Udah cukup dia VGC. Udah cukup dia VGC kali ya. Main Unite sekarang. Mainnya Greedent dong, ngeselin banget. Emang suka kayaknya dia model-model begini ya, Greedent Pachirisu. Ini najis banget.
Here we go. We've actually got a Unite move from a few players. Just went up on Eternity, so we could have a big fight here. Maybe Pikachu getting caught out. Unite moves coming down from Dragonite.
Wah, lu. Darahnya habis sih.
To collapse on this Dreadnought.
Sejun comes in with their Unite move. They're belly flopping right into that Dreadnought action. Straight on the beach, sand everywhere. Pikachu comes in. They take care of Dragonite. They're pushing back forward. They're trying to find the block, and it's Sejun sealing it up. Belches all over the place.
Tapi kalah skor nih, jauh nih.
They're trying to work through. They get stumped into dust in tandem with a big slap, and they're going back in the face of Sejun as they're retreating out. Aaron's on the chopping block though. They're going to catch a Hyper Beam. The rest of Eternity makes it out.
Boom! Wow, I love seeing this. I'm telling you, Dupes next. These two teams are playing two different games of Pokemon Unite, and it's so exciting to see these.
Tetap aja pakai tupai, iya makanya. Pachirisu lah, Greedent lah, anjing. Kalau ada tupai dia pasti pakai tupai.
It's going to be exciting to see how this plays out around Zapdos, which is coming up here in about 2 minutes.
Well, Pikachu is just babysitting this Rotom. Kratos going to come up to support, but I'm always taking a look to see where Sejun is. They seem to kind of be leading the charge. Either when they're with the team, they're leading the charge, or they're just being an absolute monster on the backside, stealing everybody's action.
Now, you know, this is an exciting moment here for IX. You don't often push in with the second Rotom, but Snorlax actually makes this a lot more possible. This block could make this an easy push for Eternity, or for IX. Let's see if Eternity's able to stop them here. And it looks like they might be able to. IX might have to back out here, or they're going to all get KO'd.
Rata sih. Bisa nahan lah ya. Oke, bisa balas scoring kan di atas.
This is a good time to get those KO resets going on their their KO timers, and Eternity happy to get that experience.
That's right. I mean, glass half full thinking there from IX. Hey, we'll take a KO now.
Itu disebutnya EX Gaming atau 9 Gaming. EX.
Eternity felt like they had an
Dia bilang
opportunity to
EX.
maybe push in and score there. They might be leaving the top and bottom path goals open to score right at Zapdos. They know the enemy doesn't have a Hoopa, so they can't run into the pit as fast as some other teams could.
Yeah, exactly. IX Gaming needs to be less concerned about necessarily the Zapdos in these final fights, and they need to catch as many bodies as they can.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge if they are able to stop Eternity here. Eternity trying to put some points in this top path. Greedent just looking for a quick score and say, nah, forget it. I'm just going to run home and eat some berries.
Here's the thing, IX Gaming is going to take this Dreadnought,
Gue
but
kira tuh kalau mau
Eternity still has the
9. Iya, gue juga tadi mikirnya ini
this is enough to
9.
completely bridge that gap.
Soalnya ngapain orang nulis EX gitu. Tapi disebutnya
Great
EX.
positional advantage both on the scoreboard with how their composition's built, but as
Mungkin
well
maksud dia juga 9 kali.
and keep IX from getting all those KOs.
Here we go. Looks like we got a little bit of a fight
IX.
just pushing Greedent out. You know, when Greedent's around, you might have a little bit of a fight and it might just walk away from you.
Yeah, Greedent kind of goes in, starts scoring. Zarina bubbles them back out. That's Nudo, of course, as the rest of IX Gaming is positioning around the Zapdos pit. They do not want Eternity anywhere near this burn.
Huge Zapdos for these two teams. This match decides who stays in our winners bracket right now. And we're coming in. Here comes the Dragonite
ini dia nih.
from Eternity.
They're going straight for
Apakah Zapdos Gaming akan comeback?
Catches onto the Greedent, onto the Dragonite as they're coming through. That thing is absolutely
going
absurd.
down.
IX Gaming takes it. Eternity's going to go for the back half action.
Gagal.
Dragonite actually used their night move to move forward, and now IX Gaming needs all 500 points here and they need to get back, play some defense, and keep Eternity from scrubbing this thing out from under them.
Eternity putting points on the board at the same time. I don't know if Blitzy's going to make it. No, getting landed on by the Blitzy. Pika Diff and Retsu pushing them around 700 to 252. Eternity not able to take that Zapdos.
Berarti diambil IX Gaming dong nih game 3-nya ya. Eternity keeliminasi nih Korea. Berarti dia menang siapa ya? Renaissance, IX Gaming, T2 ya, Jepang, NA. Tidak jadi comeback guys.
Because we are looking at that just under that 500 point mark, which means we need to fill pockets, we need to get to goal zones, and we need everybody to score.
Here we go. Eternity possibly moving in. Zarina, Blissey. We've got Wigglytuff staying back home to stop a score. But there are so many points that they need to score to make this work. They've got to KO the entire enemy team. Look at that block. Goodbye. Where are they going?
Pika Diff trying to do a little Home Alone kidnap action, pushing them all the way down the path into the basement. They're hitting all of Kevin McAllister's traps on the way back, and Eternity's getting dusted here. Oh. KO Shrink a 2 for OG. Can they find another one? No, because Pika Diff wants into the action. They're pushing forward too. 20 seconds left, and there is not enough time.
I'm sorry, Eternity, you are not the wet bandits today. You cannot break in, Eternity. Wow. IX had an amazing defense right there, pushing them all the way towards their main goal, and it was not open. So they're just pushing them back into this flux zone where they couldn't do anything except eat a hyper beam.
I'm going to speed run something.
Oh, ini pakai HP tuh, ada yang pakai HP, ada yang pakai Switch ya.
Forced the Wigglytuff to not join with the team, had to try and stop another score to keep this thing manageable, but because they were with the team, because their pockets weren't full, they couldn't complete the push and had no chance.
Ungu, berarti kayak yang ungu, kalau warnanya oranye kayak oranye, gua kira tetap oranye terus.
And Eternity putting on a show with their Pokemon. I like their setup, and we've enjoyed watching.
Boom! 15 seconds, and that's a world record on the speed run, wrapping up that moment. Incredible, Doom Snacks. IX Gaming taking it here in game number 3. They're going to be moving on in our winners bracket. Eternity from Korea.
Dari tadi ya, Sarina selalu ada. Pokoknya kalau bisa diperhatiin, apa? Metanya tuh pasti Sarina, Blissey. Gak jauh-jauh sih. Anjir, itu siapa tuh? Pakai just Pokemon Leonhard apa Unlisted Leaf tuh? Belakang. Apa orang biasa? IX Gaming.
Big time win right now here to kick themselves off, and we're into the action. That was a great secure by IX Gaming and a great start to this one.
Yeah, that first Dreadnought went in the way of IX Gaming, and you know, for a lot of the match here, they were really in control after that first Dreadnought.
Bang, kapan lanjut Infinity udah di-upload jam 3, astaga, ini banyak orang goblok di channel gua. Anjing. Udah di-upload tadi jam 3. Masya Allah. Emang kalau gua ngupload tuh kagak dilihat ya? Bang, kapan main Unite lagi? Astagfirullahaladzim.
Big secure here. OG with the huge secure. Sewing up the game for IX. Eternity coming back here, but they were not able to get it done. And of course they are celebrating. They're moving forward here in the winners bracket. One step closer to becoming a world champion. But Eternity is not out of this thing yet.
No, they're in the losers bracket. They're looking to shock the world here. They're going to make a run as best as they can. We saw the handshakes. They're good.
Bosan lihat romhack mulu, gak usah dilihat romhacknya.
Those were GGs.
Gak usah dilihat, lihat yang lain aja, kan konten di channel gue gak cuma romhack.
No BGs today. We got all the letters except BGs, only GGs today. Let's take a look at our bracket and see where we're heading possibly next. As we were talking earlier,
IX Gaming lawan Black Hand. Itu lawan Renaissance. Ah, masih quarter cuy, masih jauh, ini masih per 8. Per 8, per 4 final. Masih jauh.
NA is going at it very soon.
Well, we're going to see who's the best to represent the rest here for NA between Black Hand and
Itu juga nggak langsung kalah, turun ke losers bracket.
Moving downstairs here, so we're going to be covering, I believe, some losers bracket action.
We're going to take a look at some exciting games coming up here. Eternity heading down possibly to the main stage. We'll know what game is coming up next very, very soon. Ooh, you can feel it in here. I mean, it is exciting, Doom Snacks.
It is very exciting. So
ada loser bracket, iya loser bracket. Nanti ketemu yang upper bracket, turun dia. Masih lama ini. Tuh, nextnya aja ke loser bracket, no show lagi lawan Eternity. Terus baru nanti ke semifinal. Semifinal 1, terus loser bracket 2. Anjir, terus semifinal 2. Wah. Jam, 11 jam. Anjing. Gue mau nyalain streaming sampai jam berapa ini? Prediksi sih besok beresnya. Berarti sekarang nggak mungkin sampai final lah ya. Paling sampai semifinal. Malam ini sebenarnya saya ngedukung No Show. No Show iya sih jago sih. Eternity mainnya gak tau, gue ngeliatnya kayak power levelnya kalah sama yang lain sih. Tapi ya kita lihat saja guys ya, semua bisa terjadi di Unite. Halo semuanya yang baru datang, live sampai maghrib dong ya, sepertinya begitu. Nggak tahu sih gue. Coba kita lihat dulu abis ini deh, seru atau enggak. Sama chatnya ngeselin atau enggak. Kalau chatnya ngeselin gue matiin aja. Capek gue ngeliatnya anjing. Bang kapan Unite bang, kapan Rom Hack bang, kapan Infinity anjing. Tolol apa goblok sih anjing. Baru di upload. Kan juga kalau ada tungguin aja. Siap-siap trailer aja besok. Ntar lihat Black Hand ya. Black Hand semifinal tar. Abis satu lagi. Gue ambil minum dulu kali ya. Habis minum gue.
Welcome back everybody to the Pokemon Unite World Championships. We have yet another game for you. We're headed down into our losers bracket to watch the rival of Korea.
No Show versus Eternity, the first and second place teams from the Korea Regional Finals. These teams got something to prove. If you're Eternity, you're trying to say, we are the #1 seat from our region. And if you're No Show, you're looking to reassert your dominance.
Exactly. Hold on to that lead that you have or give it up, but the stakes are even bigger today. It is win or go home scenario for these teams. We are in the losers bracket. No Show, they want to remain here. S4L, Santachi, Woolan, and Timur are an incredible squad.
We saw that Zarina pop up there on screen. Just an absolutely dominating character in the hands of no-show's player this weekend. Blossom just absolutely commanding performance on the Snorlax as well.
Yeah, there's a few rising stars that I think we can point to on the side here of no-show. Blossom specifically is so good, but some Tachi's Serena play this tournament has been
TBD itu to be decided. Ya, TBD itu belum ketahuan guys siapa lawan siapa, masih nanti.
Teams down on the stage getting ready to get into the lobby, but before we do, we want to make sure we take a look at who no-show is going to be coming up against. They are no strangers to this matchup, having played in the same region, but Eternity trading first and second place finishes with no-show throughout the season at AOS Cup and regional finals.
Yeah, we really do have a story of some Pokemon Unite rivals here about to come to a conclusion on stage. Eternity, a very impressive team in their own right. Sejun, of course, on this squad. No stranger to a Pokemon World Championships grand stage.
Truly a Pokemon master, if you would, among trainers. Sejun, tons of competitive experience in Pokemon's largest tournaments, such as the championship that they are playing in here today. This is kind of a rubber band match. Each team got first place and a second place in AOS Cup and then regionals. This is the third time they're kind of going up playing for all the marbles here in a Pokemon Unite tournament.
Yeah, finally, this can be our conclusion. The rubber band has went back and forth constantly, but maybe today we will have a definitive answer. Who are the champions of Korea and who gets to charge on forward in this World Championships? No-show or Eternity?
I'm interested to see which characters these teams choose to load up in the draft lobby. Sejun favoring a Greedent for most of this tournament, a character we don't see a ton of, but offers a ton of play in the hands of an expert with his ability to navigate around the battlefield while being resistant to being pushed around.
Yeah, Sejun and a fluffy-tailed battle item and whatever Pokemon they're choosing to use is definitely an iconic combo. So Eternity brings a lot of surprises to the enemy side. However, you're not going to be getting any surprises out behind no-show. They seem to know all of your tricks. They definitely have played you many times. Eternity is have to be on their best game today if they want to take a game off of no-show.
No-show kind of kicking us off with our Snorlax Fest that has kind of been the weekend. That really stands out to me as like the Pokemon of the weekend that kind of cropped up, that wasn't very popular going in, that a number of teams, including no-show here, have leveraged to very powerful effect.
Yes, exactly. Namely, one makes me think of is Heron on that rollout Wigglytuff, a option that definitely can displace enemies and take you by surprise. So Eternity playing that, but you're right, no-show has some of their own tricks up their sleeve. Yeah, these teams are waiting here for their bracket to begin. This match is so important. We are in losers bracket territory, where I said before, but I'll say it again. This is loser goes home. Your world championship run would end here, and that is the opposite of what either of these teams want.
It's going to be a long road for whichever team manages to win this. The lower bracket, the losers bracket, means that you have to play the absolute most matches of Pokemon Unite possible in order to be crowned champion still here today.
Yes, exactly. Now, this is a little close to home for these players, obviously, but they are far from home, seeing as we are playing here in London, England. A big travel for these Korean teams representing their region. They definitely want to be going back home with all the glory they can. They've definitely earned their way here. That is a success in its own right, but there is more success within their grasp.
If anything, this will probably be the most comfortable match these teams
Iya,
play this
Sejun Park,
weekend.
guys.
Familiar with the opponents that they're going up and what they are likely to try.
Beneran Sejun tuh, Sejun.
So we saw them play a good bit of yesterday.
Yes, Wolon on this Aegislash really is.
Coba di caster Om, ini kan ada casternya.
Looking at S4L
Main gua
again
caster.
on the Dragonite, they were putting up highlight reel after highlight reel on that Pokemon. Thankyou, Chobo, and Blossom, of course.
Iya, dia pindah profesi dia.
No-show really seems to be the favorite headed into this matchup.
Yeah, Chobo playing Hoopa, which is a character we've seen a good bit of, but electing to play
Kendru, kalau ada yang gitu-gitu di hidden aja langsung Ken, biar nggak nambah banyak, biar nggak jadi ini, biar nggak beranak Ken. Oh enggak, gue yang hidden manual.
Build for this character. We've seen Chobo put up really impressive numbers in terms of damage metrics for what's supposed to be a support character.
Yeah, support character not in the hands of
Thank you,
Shobo,
Ken.
of course. They are
Semoga gue yang hidden manual
a
kayak tadi biasa.
damage-dealing Pokemon. Of course, all Pokemon have attacks in Unite, but with X attack, you're getting some wild boosts on those stats.
Yeah, actually transforming into an attacker class character when those rings go unbound, you get those Psy beams and the big punchy fists that rain on down and deliver those stuns, and it's a force to be reckoned with when you mix X attack.
Sejun.
Hoops Unbound, maybe one of the coolest looking Unite moves we have in the game, but coincidentally it is also one of the most powerful Unite moves that are in the game. Chobo's going to be looking to leverage that.
Kan metanya 3 all-rounder ya. Biasanya metanya itu pokoknya ada Sarina. Nah, lihat nih kanan kiri ada Sarina lagi kan. Sarina, Dragon Knight, sama Blissey gitu. Blissey Hupa lah. Gak jauh-jauh pasti itu. Lagi-lagi Sarina kan. Kanan kiri pasti ada Sarina. Sarinanya.
Reach into the jar to find a cookie. Instead, you found crumbs. Blossom was feasting there into the central area already. They split that alongside their own Serena player. Louis actually getting in a nice 5 AO synergy dunk here as Blossom keeps on the charge. Snorlax getting a lot of early damage game. They do get the focus band proc.
Yeah, it makes me wonder seeing that split center plan there.
Gue juga bakal jarang kok
No Show do this split center if they're not playing against Eternity, or is that the familiarity with what Eternity is coming into play here?
I don't know for a fact, but my gut definitely says the latter, Jeff. These teams have played each other so much, and No Show seems to be an expert on finding how to counter Eternity. This first B engagement, though, is going to be a 3-on-2, but still No Show getting quite a few of those combis.
Really showcasing kind of the
Iya, split jungle coy mainnya. Jago ya. Tiranitar nggak boleh dimainin. Tiranitar, Bazul, Glaceon nggak boleh.
Sangtachi now has the stomp move unlocked, but not quite to the evolution. Serena Sejun looking to get even more stacks, and they're going to, with this Eos Energy Dunk, get the evolution to Greedent. Now they're going to be moving around the map even faster, as well as Arrow with that Wigglytuff.
Creeping into the central area on No Show side, but quickly bouncing out as Dragonite comes out to fight here. Can Wolon get away? And it looks like thanks to the backup from S4L, they're going to be safe.
Yeah, that's true. With the evolution iframes helped them out a little bit in that situation as well. Fluffy Tail on the auto node doesn't help them get Wolon gets it, but they do get KO'd. A collapse of these two displacement tank style Pokemon. They get the collapse and find the knockout.
As we cross the 8-minute mark, there is still a Blissey on Eternity's side of the board that finally gets the evolution there.
Akhirnya berubah juga tuh Blissey.
Just the Snorlax absolutely starving that Chansey in the early game.
Yeah, all of those A-pumps and Corphish are
Halo yang berdatang guys. Itu yang mau nge-add langsung add aja tuh, saling nge-add di chat.
Now Sejun clearing up these Corphish.
We see the second round of Bs getting ready to pop up here at the 7-minute and 22nd mark. Snorlax rotating to the bottom and try and give their team a commanding position here where the more important objective is about to be spawning.
Blossom still at 6, so they have this heavy slam unlocked, but they haven't quite unlocked the block move yet, so they can't get any displacement there to protect Wolon. Wolon does go down to a Hyper Beam. Eternity's Divo player has now hit level 8. Hyper Beam is available for this Dreadnought fight.
You see Dragonites on both sides here as Rollout Wiggly cuts right across with the exact correct geometry, completely pushing S4L out and giving the perfect opportunity to secure with the Hyper Beam.
The heavy slam was a little bit early there from Blossom, and the Hyper Beam still finds its mark. An amazing rollout, of course, from Heron. Put him in the Wiggly blender there on the beach, and they were locked up for what seemed like an eternity.
As Dragonites head back in to clear the central areas, it looks like
Aegis Slash is looking for its 7 breakpoint as
Lewis here backs out on Zarina, dashing away from certain fate.
Yeah, No Show now getting the other objective in the game. Jeff, I know you love Rotom, so a great success there. They secure it and try to set it towards goal zone. Eternity will be able to deal with this in quick fashion.
Cara full screen Infinity gimana? Infinity nggak bisa full screen. Infinity paling maksimal ada di setting tuh.
Really mind this objective. It's just a little bit of
a
distraction.
Full screen,
the important metric in this game is just Look at the levels.
GG
Look
itu
at
tadi roll
all
auto
the
ya Ken,
level
anjir.
9s for Eternity on our left side, while No Show here is struggling at just barely ticking 7 on their Hoopa.
Yeah, that is true. They haven't been able to get many dunks in either, which is meaning that they're stacking items that are going to be on Thankyou have not been scaling very well for damage from them either. So Serena still a strong Pokemon on its own, but if you have an attack weight, you want to be dunking Eos energy as often as possible. Blossom, on the other hand, is finding a way to do so.
I expect we'll see No Show funnel a little bit of experience into specifically Hoopa and Aegislash here at this point. The timer has just come up for the second Dreadnought, and these characters would really like to hit their level 9 breakpoint to unlock their Unite move before the second objective comes up.
So Law says Louis going to try to stop a Dragon Dance, dodges the brunt of that attack, but it does stop the Eos energy deposit in general. A Unite move here, Wide Guard not coming out quite in time to give them unstoppable. They are chasing down. Louis getting a nice KO with that boost from the Unite move.
Gila ya Sarina ya.
One-on-one with S4L.
We see Hoopa still not level 9 in the bottom path, not going to be able to unite to pull the Dragon
Storm, double Storm,
so that's fine. I can pull myself out. We're going to jump out here with this giant Unite move as a huge block from the Starlight tries to disrupt this Dragonite. Blissey goes in, and the Arena secures the objective with the stop.
Thankyou with a really nice secure there. Louis, after not getting the Dragonite KO, decided to split push, but the fight continues on here. No show. Wide Guard keeps them up just barely. Another Unite move drops down. Is getting chased. They are caught in a tough position.
Soalnya bisa jadi kayak gitu anjir, dan dia support.
Yeah, huge Wide Guard there from No Show on the Aegislash. Gives their not only more defense, but also lets your boosted attack start to heal you, getting you sustained in those key moments.
Makes a lot of sense. Like Tachi getting a lot of damage done onto Louis.
Aduh mekanik nih. Untung di TB Blissey.
I'm sure that was not the intended target, but
pasti dia, kan, not intended target. Harusnya dia mau target Sarinanya tuh untuk kalangan Blissey anjir.
It's gonna be a nice stun.
The top point is broken on No Show's side at this point. Dragonite looking to beam here and winds it up, and Eternity sends the Rotom down the path here. I imagine we're not going to push this. We'll see though.
Bisa ngelawan.
Eternity's early positioning.
Tadi banyak yang dukungnya No Show ya kalian ya.
Favorite there in terms of the Rotom. They had the triple Dragon Dance stacks up a little bit earlier than No Show was able to do so, and they get to secure it pretty clean.
As we head towards the 3-minute and 30-second mark, there's not a single character above level 11 on No Show's side here, and that's going to need to change pretty drastically in the next 90 seconds if they expect to have a chance at the Zapdos fight.
Well, on her, there's that level 12 tick up there. So Aegislash finally moving up.
Stormnya Sarina nanti jadi nambah CD-nya, ya di nerfnya itu ya, nambahin cooldown.
Is no easy feat to overcome, especially when Seijun and Aeron are defending this goal zone so well. Imagine trying to score any Eos energy against a weakly ingredient.
We see a brawl breaking out on this bottom point. No Show hoping to kind of catch up with the point differential that currently exists in the game, but Eternity not giving them anything for free here.
Ditahan ya, tahan 5-5-nya langsung sini.
But the Serena is able to shut them down there,
5-man
and
team
then
cuy.
again with a really nice KO.
Hoopa stepping back through that portal and meeting a trip right back to the Pokemon Center. Can this Snorlax block push Dragonite out of position, giving No Show time for the Dreadnought?
I don't know. S4L's caught themselves in danger. They have to use a Unite move here at 230 at close range. Dreadnought down to low HP. Right side team takes it. Tachi finds a way.
Apakah ini akan bisa membalas Eternity?
The second Dreadnought gives No Show the important experience they need to catch back up and get back in this game. We are quickly closing in the 2-minute mark, which means all these knockouts are that much better for No Show.
Oh, those knockouts. There's a whole lot of them. A KO streak of 3 there for S4L. A huge momentum shift in this game number 1. Zapdos is coming in 5 seconds, and No Show has brought themselves within a 1 gap and a big level increase.
We see 100
nah kan,
points going
kebales kan?
Coba
kita lihat nih.
Close battle that just popped up is no longer the case as No Show
lagi di Zapdos Gaming ya penentuannya.
99
gila.
Yeah, okay, yes, exactly. Very, very close scoreline here. Hoopa watching
Wah, kena Sarinanya.
Dibales.
Masih hidup Sarinanya, Santachi. Cabut masih hidup.
Both Greedent and Wiggly tough and Blissey so much that they have to work through on the side of No Show.
Aegislash masuk dari belakang, Wiggly-nya hilang. Hilang lagi nih. Snorlax, Greedent, mau ngerusuh. Wah, Sarinanya balik lagi. Hilang Sarinanya. Oke, No Show. Mantap sekali. Rapi ya. 3. Lupa mati ke colong Dragonite. Waduh, oke, nice. Dapat nih Zapdos ya. Iya, cakep. Dikambekan sama No Show.
But No Show makes sure they land it.
No-Show is putting out
Tercomeback,
quite the show here
bos.
this afternoon as 100-point scores after 100-point
Si
scores.
Junpark kayaknya tahun depan VGC lagi dah dia.
360-some point lead, soon to be a 400-point lead here as another 100 dunk hits the net.
45 seconds left in the game. Eternity does have a chance. It's a tough one. No-Show looking like an amazing game number 1. They have locked this thing up.
No-Show, there's no chance for Eternity here in this first game of the series. Eternity's gonna have to work hard from this point.
Well, all right, Eternity does have 2 pretty big KOs, a 15-second timer on Thankyou, almost 30 seconds on Wulon. This assault could happen here on this bottom tier goal zone, but they're gonna need to move.
Mau dibalas pun udah gak bakal bisa, tinggal nge-def doang. Pokemon Unite bos, gak bisa, ada comeback begitu kalau udah gabus. Selesai anjir.
Starlit Recital definitely putting in a little
Maksudnya dari
bit of
kemarin
work,
mainnya
but
sabar dan
going for
bertarget
wins
bang,
up in
main
the end.
objektif
Sword
dia.
Shield coming in clutch as well. They get some
Lebih
AO synergy
ini
in,
ya,
but
lebih
it's not quite
objektif.
enough. No-Show is going to take game number 1.
64 points is quite shy of the 400-point differential that we have with our final scoreboard being 619 to 280 in favor of No-Show in this first game of the match.
Wow, the momentum shifted so heavily in that final minute or 2 of the game. Eternity was playing out of their mind, really keeping control of that game as a whole. But No-Show, the huge Dreadnought team fight win, a 3 KO streak from S4L, and all of a sudden, they are up 1-0.
Yeah, pretty even spread of knockouts here. You kind of tell the tale of this game was Eternity had such a commanding presence in the first 5 to 6 minutes or so, and then No-Show kind of hit the gas and shifted gears, and they started to get ahead, and that final engagement around that third Dreadnought is really where things started to pivot in No-Show's favor.
Yeah, No-Show had a big turning point like we were talking about. Looking at the damage numbers, Wulon with a pretty nice stat line. No one breaking that 100K mark, but that 619 scoreline is going to mean certain victory. No-Show up 1-0 in the rival of Korea battle.
Let's take a look at what happened over the course of that match here that No-Show was victorious in. We had some nice pushes here in the beginning, and honestly, it felt like No-Show just knew what Eternity was doing, even from the start, with that split center and keeping them down that way.
Si Jun tahun depan ikut turnamen Pokemon Cafe.
That split center was one of my favorite soul reads.
Enggak, anjir dia jago, lu parah lu. Orang dia diabadikan kok di trailer awal-awal VGC. Salamence, Pachirisu, Draco Meteor, wah, Tiranitar, Garchomp, wah. Itu Sejun Park itu Pachirisu, gila lu. Emang udah paling bener dia VGC lagi, nggak usah ke Unite ya. Parah banget. Nolak ke No-Show ini bagus dorongnya, blok terus X-Speed. Iya bener. Jadi dia ngeblok nyalain X-Speed, dorong langsung. Yo Rifai, welcome. VGC bang, udah mulai bang VGC. Welcome Rifai.
Salah lagi yang sini gua.
Yes, No-Show looking that they are the dominant force here coming out of the Korea region.
Oh ini build Agi Slash tuh. Sacred Sword, White Guard, Focus Band, Razor Claw, Muscle Band.
7 knockouts, 3 assists. Focus Band, Razor Claw, Muscle Band, and of course, rocking that Sacred
Lah ini channelnya Pokemon Unite lah.
Yeah, the potion here also giving an incredible amount of sustain to this Aegis Slash build, being able to pivot on a dime with that white
Sorry, Bos Irfan.
So much durability on this character when you need it.
Yeah, Wulon right there. Look at them. That is the eyes of a champion staring down at their next task, and that is going to be game number 2. Now, Aegis Slash players have definitely been a huge factor in a lot of the Japan regional tournaments. I've watched
Boleh
a
guys,
lot of
nonton
them.
VGC dulu guys, bentar guys. Nonton VGC guys. Ada Charizard nih. Akhirnya, oh bentar timnya sama cok. Wah timnya sama cok. Zacian, Groudon, Charizard, Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, Gastrodon, anjing. Tim ini lagi cok yang dibawa. Bentar kita nonton ini dulu ya, gantian biar gak bosan anjing. Mirror. Sorry semuanya, sorry Lars.
saying, Luno, I've got a third option. I'm going to go for a quick attack and get rid of Charizard here and now. Just leaving Rinya's own Zacian on the battlefield.
Yeah, and also dropping that Intimidate crucially onto the position on Rinya's side of the field. Not quite enough to allow it to his own Zacian to survive that Behemoth Blade, but more importantly, getting it back down to that neutral attack, so it's not so much of a threat when the Groudon does enter the field again. And you've got the fake out now from the Incineroar, giving you that extra turn that you need, and then two Pokemon.
Ini kayak tim yang gue pakai dulu ya, Charizard, Chartiberry segala macam.
The Zacian every turn. Zacian, one drawback is that it only has
Nonton di mana bang di Pokemon Official?
Yes. I mean, that is certainly a difficult situation. You can see as well at the top of the screen, it just flashed up. There are only 3 minutes left in this particular game too. It has certainly been a long one of masterful pivoting in and out, making sure that you have that fake out advantage. But I think you make a good point here. You know, Zacian does tend to only really run those single target attacks. And I think it's interesting that David is taking all the time that he does still have on that My Time to bring in the Groudon. It's the only Pokemon choice he has. He's lost 2 Pokemon. But he's using these extra seconds to think, hey, how am I going to play this?
Oh ya,
Which
baru keluar.
Pokemon is this?
Tinggal milih Groudon doang padahal ya, lama
At the end
juga.
of the day, the sun's coming back onto the field.
Susah sih ini mau gimana Zaciannya.
Something like a Flare Blitz and deal big damage, but it's also going to take a chunk of that in recoil, and then it can KO
Susah
itself.
Zacian mau gimana dia?
Zacian might be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's a big worry. I think you want to utilize your fake out here to maybe give you a little bit more thinking time. But really, I think
udah top 16 loh. Besok terakhir berarti ya.
Unless you've got a bit more of a.
Besok gua nggak bisa streaming guys.
A more accurate move to rely
Kalian
on,
nonton
because
sendiri aja ya.
You've got a fire type attack, maybe something like Heat Crash, Fire Punch. It's, you know, got that better accuracy. You're going to be able to just utilize that with a bit more comfort and then take down the Zacian without having to rely on the accuracy of Precipice Blades, which we've already seen David's Groudon have a few issues already.
Siapa yang bakal menang, nonton di mana? Nah, yang gini-gini nih yang di hidden nih.
Throughout most of this game too, so we maybe don't want to, you know, handle its nerves a little bit by reminding it, but you know, that's what we're here to do. Zacian does go for the protect, however, in the lead of that fake out, and I think that was a really good identification. Groudon is going to go for the Precipice Blades.
Sama pasti movesetnya beda ya, beda-beda 1-2 lah paling item ya. Yo, this is not Enigma. Terima kasih sudah join member. Welcome.
Hope you can take a
Turnin Pokken seru juga. Iya, kemarin kita sempet nontonin Pokken terus tuh, Van. 2 hari yang lalu deh. Wah, tuh tampol-tampolannya gila sih. Kalau ada yang jago-jago banget, itu beneran pure skill sih Pokken. Kalau ini kan masih ada hoki ya. Kayak VGC, TCG. Itu masih ada hoki. Kalau yang bener-bener skill menurut gue tuh Unite sama Pokken. Gak ada faktor hokinya tuh kalau Pokken. Ini sih banyak banget hokinya ya, akurasi, critical, status condition.
Then Groudon's just able to go for the Precipice Blades, and I don't think that there is a lot that Zacian could do to necessarily knock out Groudon
nggak bakal bisa one shot juga
sih. He's going to go for the Behemoth Blade though into that opposing Incineroar, and possibly just sort of cross its paws a little bit to think, hey, maybe these Precipice Blades are going to miss. I'm going to get lucky. I can go for these Behemoth Blades. Incineroar's out of action. It's going to be Heat Crash, however, you said. That could be that fire type move. It goes into the Zacian. Doesn't quite do 50% though. So it's going to take
another one
and one more of those. And I don't know if Groudon's going to have that capability to survive all the Precipice Blades. The timer's run out, actually. I didn't see it at the top.
Battle timer has run out, and just in time there, taking away any issues with the Precipice Blades.
Pokken katanya tahun ini turnamen global terakhir, wah itu gue nggak tahu tuh. Mungkin iya kali. Karena udah habis kali masanya ya. Tahun depan mungkin udah ganti lagi, berarti tahun depan mungkin ada something guys. Ada game baru tuh buat abis Scarlet Violet. Maybe. Terhit KO kalau hit crash ya, tapi time.
And David being aware of that.
Timnya sama persis, padahal beda negara nih jauh. Italia sama Jepang.
Set up and take it to a game 3.
I mean, I was just about to talk about David's My Time because I could see it in the yellow zone there. And I was like, you know, you've got to get a wiggle on here. You've got to be able to do some big damage. And then suddenly that 3-minute timer I talked about earlier had clocked out. I was just so focused on the Pokemon. But I mean, that is often how these games do play out. And I think particularly when you're in a mirror match, you have a very good idea of obviously how this team is played. You're at the World Championships, you know the score.
Si David stalling. Iya tadi ngeluarin Groudonnya lama banget ya. Stalling nih. PTCG gimmick baru, iyalah pasti gimmick baru guys. Scarlet Violet kan gimmick baru. Terastalize tuh nanti pasti ada something tuh. Di VGC-nya, TCG-nya, di TCG-nya maksud gue.
Outplay the master of the game, and sometimes that can give you the advantage if you do something that a little bit unexpected, or you play the game incredibly calmly. And I think David did that so well towards the end of the game, making sure that the Charizard came in at the right time to be able to get those airstream boosts off. Even though it was paralyzed, it was still able to have formidable pressure on the field.
Yeah, and you have to take into account as well the turn that Charizard wasn't able to attack. So that was really unfortunate for David. And you think, he's going toe-to-toe, taking this game to Rinya. It's so close between both players.
PTCG Live nggak tahu tuh, kayaknya produk gagal deh. Orang masih main PTCG.
They know exactly what they're doing with these teams, and I think it could easily go either way. And it comes down to really, I think, in both games, it's really simplifying.
Besok terakhir reveal-nya ya, final day.
Who is a bit quicker to
Ntar gue recordin videonya aja lah ya. Gak bisa live gue besok.
Later on, and what options are you going to use, and maybe what are your supporting options, because you've seen the Zacians.
Lagi jenuh sih guys, gue tuh bener-bener lagi.
You know, not normally something that you'd see come to.
Gue maksa diri gue buat nggak jenuh juga nggak bisa gitu, lagi jenuh banget. Bener-bener mood gue tuh lagi di bawah banget gitu, nggak bisa. Apalagi ngadepin bocil-bocil kematian ini, gue capek makanya kayaknya nggak bisa live stream sebenernya gue. Paling gue stok aja video.
To kind of clinch out the games and just
itu juga enak gue ya, terus. Kayak gue lagi refreshing sendiri main PS5 di bawah, tanpa ngontenin, tanpa apa. Tapi ya itu juga masih jenuh gue.
One game between
Lama
David
ini.
and Rinya
Prosesnya
to
lama.
see who will get into that top 8, and I believe there are some players already waiting for them with their eyes on the screen. Let's have a little look at the leads in this game 3. Rinya is going for the Incineroar and the Grimmsnarl, and David has also got Grimmsnarl but paired up with the Charizard.
Ya ini belakangnya udah pasti Groudon Zacian lagi sih.
Offensive pressure going into this turn 1 is from David with that Charizard.
Atau enggak Groudon Charizard. Tapi masa iya Zaciannya nggak dibawa? Pasti bawa Zacian lah.
Whether or not you want to go for that early on, or whether you want to preserve it like you did in game 1, is probably another option, and he's still got Pokemon in the back that he can bring in. He's got the Grimmsnarl next to it as well to support with things like Light Screen and Reflect that we've already seen.
Iya Reza, gue lagi gitu aja sekarang. Tapi gue harus nyibukin diri gitu biar gue ke distract. Cuma tetap aja nggak bisa. Butuh waktu memang. Cuma waktu yang bisa apa balikin lagi, yang nyembuhin lagi gitu. Memang nggak bisa. Makin gue paksa gue pengen cabut dari masalah itu, makin keinget nggak bisa. Gue harus terima ini. Gue harus jalan. Jadi kayak yang nggak bisa. Memang proses guys. Udah gue nge-gym Mas Jin. Olahraga gue tiap hari.
With your own Grimmsnarl to kind of get
Tetap
around
aja.
these Gigantamax turns.
Berapa menit cuy.
And I love this bold start from David here. Not only do you switch in the ground on stun up for your Charizard, but you also click that Gigantamax button for the Charizard being able to get into such a strong position, solar power boosted. You can now be in a good spot to be able to go for something like the G-Max Wildfire, possibly down into that Grimmsnarl, just pick up a huge chunk of damage and set the residual fire going. Alternatively, you can also go for that airstream, start getting the speed boost up while Groudon managed to make it in unintimidated. And Rinya also goes for the Reflect. This is not going to help out against the special attacks coming from the Charizard. And it's going to be the G-Max Wildfire into that Grimmsnarl, and that is a one-hit KO. Rinya's down a Pokemon already.
Gila, sakit banget.
Taking the opportunity with
Kendrew, di hidden Kendrew.
Getting the Groudon in, being very aggressive in his
play.
Udah
ya, udah di hidden ya. Thankyou.
Setting the Reflect up, not the Light Screen, not going to help. And predicting maybe it's too early for the Charizard to Gigantamax here, but David taking the opportunity and really capitalizing on it, taking away that option of that Thunder Wave that was such a hindrance in that game too. And now the Charizard has got its G-Max Wildfire, the residual damage is starting, and it's in a position to start getting these airstreams out this next turn to really put itself and the Groudon into a dominating position to try and close
Tapi emang gini sih kombonya kayak no brain gitu. Lo tinggal kayak G-Max drop.
It's just going to be able to go on the rampage here. Possibly now the Wildfire setup, you can go for those max airstreams and boost up the speed, particularly when the Groudon's right next to you. It can apply so much pressure with something like a Precipice Blades, forcing that Incineroar to possibly retreat. Yes, it can come back and do some Intimidate action, but you're still going to catch Pokemon with that Precipice Blades while Charizard's free to go for some big damage. Even in the Sun, you know, now the Groudon switched in again, you might still want to
Iya,
go for
kenapa
something
dia
like
pasang
G-Max
reflect ya?
Wildfire,
Kenapa
because
dia
we've
nggak
seen
pasang
how
light
much
screen?
damage it can do.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You've got to be a bit careful about what the item is on the Groudon, and if the Groudon decides to go for its Dynamax here, then, you know, it might be able to take the big fire type
pakai Gudra, anjir Gudra mah udah nggak zaman.
and then return.
Orang boleh pakai 2 restricted.
Max Rockfall and pick up the
Tadi aja tuh kocak
so
membogoli
that's always a
support.
risk, and you don't really want to kind of get yourself in that position where you could go for the airstream. It's going to be boosted by the Sun anyway. You're going to do respectable damage, and
Charizard
you are going to be able to get that Groudon a little bit faster. But the big
Max
thing you've got to
Groudon,
worry
Rockfall,
about
Charizard, Charti Berry. Charti nggak sih ini?
is the fact that
Most likely Charti sih. Dia nggak live orb kan? Kalau nggak live orb, apa charcoal, Charti Berry.
And it wasn't a Flare Blitz there. Didn't go for a parting shot either.
Exactly, and
Parting
we
shot
see
Charizard.
the Dynamax Rinya of
Wildfire
the
lagi. Lihat
Groudon
nih
coming
damage-nya
into
nih, lihat
play.
damage-nya nih.
And
Tak!
it's going to be a G-Max Wildfire coming down into the opposing Groudon that's going to go for a Max Phantasm. We're getting so tongue-tied on the desk here, Lee. It goes down into the Groudon, and I love this play because it lowers the defense of the opposing Pokemon, so that Groudon in the next turn is going to be able to apply even more pressure. There is a follow-up with the Precipice Blades on David's side, going to be activating that Sugar Berry
Phantasm.
on the Incineroar once again, so it's going to be a little bit more vulnerable to a Precipice Blades going
Anjir,
forward.
bau
As
gituan.
the parting shot comes out from Incineroar into the Charizard, so
Terima
reducing
kasih,
its special attack,
Tita.
making it slightly less of a threat. And I
Tapi
love the
aku
way
tidak
Rinya's
bisa
been able to
semangat,
position
ya,
this,
terima kasih.
bringing in that Max Phantasm to allow it that
Aku masih butuh
little
waktu
bit more
untuk
flexibility
mengembalikan
going forward.
Yeah,
aku yang
definitely.
stabil
And
lagi.
what I was trying to say was the Burning Jealousy was the option there on the Incineroar.
Anjir, bawa orang Jepang nih memang ya. Yo Akong, selamat sore Akong. Anjir, Max Phantasm, bawa Shadow Claw dia.
Go for it and you boost the speed of
The
Groudon.
fuck, man.
If you are on David's side of the field, then it would,
Dari semua
of course,
move yang gua
burn the
prediksi,
Groudon that turn.
Max
You do
Phantasm
not
dong.
want your Groudon burned if you're David.
Iya,
You wanna
halo,
have
sore.
it in as healthy a position as possible. But like you say, getting the defense drop on the Charizard, really nice play there from Rinya.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that reveal as well. You literally just mentioned, Lee, that the item on that Groudon could, you know, stop Charizard from being able to deal so much damage if it's carrying something like the Assault Vest. And often when we see the Ghost type move, you know, coming off something like a Shadow Claw, for example, that often does indicate that it's going to be the Assault Vest variant. You can see it takes this Max Airstream so well too. Boosting up the speed on David's side.
Udah dia kena parting shot.
And, you know, allowing the Groudon on David's side as well to benefit from that
Salah
boost.
satu tapi Groudonnya jadi nampol
Stone Edge
duluan.
to
Wah,
get
cepret,
close to
hilang
Charizard.
dong.
It is enough to get the one-hit KO, just removing it straight
Astaga.
away. So that Rinya cannot utilize it in this match. As Groudon follows up with the Max Rockfall. Now, bearing in mind there's been the defense drop on that opposing Charizard, it also gets the knockout. Charizard is down and out in this top 16 match.
Charizard's denied that turn. Groudon saying no.
Oh my
no.
god.
Taking both the Charizards down.
Nggak Charti, cok, lu ngapain Phantasm tadi? One shot itu Rockfall.
Limiting Rinya down to just 2 Pokemon now. And obviously the Groudon able to take those attacks
ya nggak sih?
because of the
Itu tadi dia airstream, Groudonnya jalan dulu, Stone Edge kena lagi. Udah harinya David ini emang. Stone Edge lo kena lo.
Into the latter turns of the game. Incineroar coming in though, it has got the Intimidate. It is going to reduce the attacking power of the Zacian. It's now putting for the Vita and the Groudon, so we're not going to be hitting as hard. But you've got to worry that Zacian has got the speed advantage. Just needs to protect to get around the fake out, and it's going to probably be in a position to
Bang,
really
kalau udah ngerti
do a
VGC
number
gini
on the
ngelihatnya
Groudon
bisa
on
kayak wah
Rinya's
gitu
side.
gak dibanding ngelihat
Yeah,
cuman
that's the thing. David looking strong
maksudnya
with
gimana
both
sih?
restricted in play here. And of course, Groudon will still be
Itu
able to
pasti
benefit
kepencet
from the
Phantasmnya.
potential boost it got from the Charizard. But we're actually going to
Anjing,
see a
nggak
switch
mungkin lah
straight away.
kepencet.
Groudon's just getting out of there. Doesn't
Masa
want to have
kepencet?
to, you know, suffer the consequences of that
Gua nggak ngerti
Intimidate.
sih
And Grimmsnarl can
kenapa
switch
dia
in its
Phantasm.
place, allowing the Zacian next to it to go for a protect. And these defensive plays for David can
Max
help out
Quake.
towards the endgame situation. Max Quake comes out, though, into the Grimmsnarl, so it isn't enough to get the KO. And of course, Rinya's now going to get the special defense boost, but that doesn't matter. Charizard's not on the field anymore. You're only really against physical attackers.
Iya,
and
udah
you've
nggak
got to
ngaruh
hope that
special
this
def
is the
naik.
Flare Blitz into that Grimmsnarl to remove
Double
it,
Grimmsnarl.
to tie up 2 Pokemon apiece
Anjir,
now.
apaan tuh, ada
And
dangdutan.
it is going to be the Groudon and the Zacian on David's side of the field against the Incineroar and the Groudon on Rinya's side.
Jancok, dangdutan di
Of course,
mana
the
tuh?
G-Max Wildfire chipping away at that Groudon on Rinya's side as well, putting it in a really dangerous spot. David now obviously forced to bring the Groudon in from the back, so the weather's going to reset too, and Sun will rejoin the field. my concern is going to be the Precipice Blades here, right? And the speed interactions of these Groudons, because Precipice Blades coming out from David's side can deal super effective damage to that Incineroar. We have seen it's already eaten its Sugar Berry, and then Groudon's just going to fall over if it gets hit by the small minor Earthquake there. And Groudon on Ringer's side, it's out of its Dynamax turn, so it can now use its spread move, Precipice Blades. It will deal so much damage to the opposing Zacian, but will it be enough to get the KO, considering its full health?
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the,
Max
I think the
HP,
Zacian is a little bit
darahnya masih penuh
about
soal
the
Zaciannya.
Incineroar as well.
Dihemat
Obviously,
duluan,
because,
hilang
Flare
Groudonnya,
Blitz
Cok.
boosted by the sun is probably going to be enough to take it down.
Well,
Hilang Groudonnya, dia Flare Blitz ke Zacian.
With the Groudon, so now you
Flare
have
Blitz
got this
Zacian nggak?
Incineroar facing down against David's Groudon that is going to click. Oh, it's going to click Precipice Blades, but it doesn't need to. It's going for the Heat Crash here. Going to be just chipping away at this opposing Incineroar that is able to retaliate with the Flare Blitz, boosted up by the sun into the Zacian. It gets a one-hit KO against it.
Dia ngelawan Groudon
Yeah,
gimana?
tying it up once again, taking the Zacian down, and then it's going to be that Incineroar versus the Groudon here. And the problem is that you're the Incineroar on Rinya's side.
Masa kalau ngerti kompetitif Pokemon, ngeliat tim play gitu lebih seru dibanding nontonin walkthrough. Ya ngapain nontonin walkthrough, kan udah tamat semua. Nontonin apa lagi?
It took so much recoil, you know, knocking out Zacian from full HP there, and now Incineroar's in a dangerous spot. Groudon, you know, could go for the risky play of the Precipice Blades, but you might as well go for something like the Heat Crash, do that little bit of damage, and even if it doesn't KO, the Incineroar's going to do it to itself with Flare Blitz recoil, but it does actually get the knockout. David Carret is going to take the mantle of Rinya's son over to himself into top 8. Congratulations to David.
Masuk top 8 ya. TB King, welcome to trainer. Thank you udah join member TB King.
Be moving on to top 8 in the 2022 World Championships, and that is incredible. What a set, what a duel backwards and forwards between both of these incredible players.
Enggak sih, sebenarnya Sirinya tadi misplay sih menurut gue ya.
No, big commiserations to Rinya Kobayashi here. I mean, what an incredible team. He may not be advancing into top 8, but his team certainly is. And I think it was masterful to see both players who are well-versed with these particular 6
Cuma tadi gue nggak yakin si Davide Groudonnya bawa Max Phantasm, bawa Shadow Claw. Gue nggak yakin deh. Ngapain dia bawa Shadow Claw?
Really championing him, and we'll be rooting for him going forward.
Buat nurunin defense oke lah, tapi
choice-nya
tadi kenapa dia buat nurunin defense buat apa gitu? Charizard-nya ke one shot anyway.
The V to move on to that top 8, that is an incredible feat, and in such fashion as well.
Masih heran nih, sumpah gue masih heran Sirian asli. Ngapain dia Max Phantasm ya?
The first game, it didn't really go so well, but his adjustments were just fantastic and really shown why he is one of the highest, well-respected top caliber.
Iya, kenapa nggak rockfall langsung? Apa dia jangan-jangan nggak tahu kalau Chartiberry? Tapi dia tahu kalau Charizardnya nggak live orb. Tapi dia nggak tahu kalau itu Chartiberry atau bukan, padahal megang charcoal gitu.
But I think the critical thing was going for those max airstreams. And the one thing I liked about, you know, if you're getting the max airstreams on your side of the field, your opponent was being really good.
Hey guys, thank you ya yang udah nemenin, di like dulu jangan lupa videonya. Thank you yang udah nemenin Nobar. Main PTCGO enggak dah, lu aja dah. Rinya ini yang ngepopulerin tim Sun yang ini padahal iya. Ini kan dia yang iniin. Dulu kan gue sempet bikin juga videonya tuh, yang Charizard, Groudon ya. Video apa streaming ya waktu itu gue?
You're almost forced into that position if your opponent starts airstreaming and you've got access to airstream.
Thank you guys ya yang udah nemenin. Wah, semifinal nih. Last kali ya guys ya, satu lagi. Satu lagi kali ya ini ya. Semifinal Black Hand lawan EX Gaming terakhir nih. Habis itu maghrib gue udahan. Sejun kalah iyalah, udah nggak kaget. Last ya guys ya.
They are your North American Regional Finals champions. IX Gaming right now is way ahead right here. We might be heading to a bracket reset. Like I said earlier, they want to be the best team in North America. That means you got to beat the best.
We are IX Gaming, and we are from North America.
What we're most excited about is to be here, meet all the different teams from different regions, and compete for the World Championships.
I'm mostly excited about competing against all the other regions, playing on the same playing ground, so we can see who truly is the best.
It's been really tough so far. We haven't had too much playing time together, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks at the most. So we've really been trying to overcome this obstacle of, okay, let's getting our game plan together, getting our synergy down.
One thing that Retsu is good at is that his comms are really good. He's very vocal.
Kapan Indonesia masuk WCS? Masuk, cuma visanya ketolak jadi nggak berangkat.
Map and where to go. Kratos, he's really good at securing objectives. I feel like my greatest strength is that I play really well with my teammates, and we have really good synergy together. OG, his strength would be he's really good at Lucario, playing top lane and 1v1ing other top laners. And Noodle, his greatest strength is he's mostly known for his Absol attacker and Serena as well. Also a big shout out to all of our friends, family, and fans as well. And we're going to do whatever it takes to win Worlds.
Kapan Pokemon Center ada di Indonesia? Kapan Indonesia masuk WCS? Bacot kamu Noval ya, dadah. Max Phantasm buat nurunin devnya Groudon kali, buat ngedouble pakai Incineroar plus Max Ground. Cuma kayak rada nggak make sense sih. Itu tadi Charizardnya open banget, lu bisa langsung one shot Charizardnya saat itu juga. Kayak gue nggak ngerti. YX Gaming tim Amrik tapi anggotanya Chinese. Ya, emang orang Chinese nggak boleh orang Amrik juga. Gak usah rasis lah. Tetap aja dia masih sisa 3 dan masih ada Insi bisa diputer, iya kan? Kayak nggak ngaruh. Maksud gua dia mau nurunin defense, kan bisa tinggal di switch doang. Tadi kan dia di switch. Dia langsung cabut Groudonnya tadi. Begitu di Phantasm, Groudonnya cabut ganti Insi. Terus baru dia Rockfall kan. Terus kok kayak misplace itu tadi menurut gua. Apa tadi ada yang bilang kepencet? Gua nggak tahu tuh kepencet atau kagak. Subhan, apa kabar Subhan? Kabar baik, alhamdulillah.
We are back here at the Pokemon Unite World Championships.
Last nih ya,
sebelum London,
sebelum maghrib.
Exciting action coming up. NA versus NA. IX versus Black Hand. Brother
Black
versus
Hand.
brother. Spraggles versus Dupes next. Oh no, wait, we're a team.
Hey, yeah, we're a team. They're not. They are teams, but they're battling against each other for North American supremacy.
Right.
And that is what we have coming up next on the main stage. But first, we have to show you the last 2 minutes of Game 2 between Nouns and iClan. It is an absolute barn burner.
Yeah, this is going to be really impressive. Nouns, obviously, as we've mentioned, the EU Titan sent down to the losers bracket. iClan being taken down by Resistance earlier.
iClan sama Nouns
the
eSport.
final 2 minutes of this game.
Great spacing. Gatlu can do a ton of damage on that Trevenant. And you know they're trying to find a way in. Look at Brub on the mime. This is their pick from season 1, day 1.
Mantap ya Black Hand ya?
This thing. I'm pretty sure they get 6-7 hours of mime play offline every single day. They love this character.
I love me some Mr. Mime. I can't wait to show this to
Gue
Jeff.
mau bikin schedule juga nih guys abis ini, makanya sampai maghrib
Gue
mau nulis lagi di papan tulis yang kosong ini ya. Jadwal upload gitu. Biar gue bisa stick to plan lagi.
And now you can kind of see the tides are shifting into the way, or for the way of iClan here.
Yeah, it looks like iClan's doing really well in this fight as they push Nouns back. I mean, they're in good position. Ooh, massive confusion there and hyper voice from Nouns. Ooh, 3 down for iClan. And you can see things start to snowball in the direction of Nouns pretty quickly here.
Absolutely, but those respawn timers are ticking down, and Nouns Esports haven't really jumped on this Zapdos yet. So now there's 4 or 5 players down for iClan. Nouns Esports trying to get it done here. This is game 1 action. I said game 2. This is game 1 action.
Here we go. Nouns with the big secure right here. You saw that barrier, just able to keep iClan out. They couldn't even get to it. Mr. Mime holding it down. Gatlu coming in here with a big score. Is it a Daisu first? There we go. Yeah. Let's put the points in first.
Yeah, Gatlu has a much easier time getting to that home goal zone to get those points in the face of iClan here. And of course, a game that was so close. You mentioned it, iClan getting picked off a little bit, and then it snowballed into the favor of Nouns Esports, despite iClan having a very decent re-engage.
Yeah, Nouns Esports just looking incredible here. I mean, they had amazing games on our main stage, but they got sent down to this losers bracket here with iClan, and Nouns is going to take this here, and they are going to be moving forward in our losers bracket. I mean, I didn't expect that we would say Nouns is in the losers bracket so early, but if any team can climb through it, it's Nouns. In fact, in their first regional championship, they made it all the way through the losers bracket to the grand finals, reset the grand finals, and won. But right now,
that's called staying power.
That's called staying power. Right now, Blackhand versus IX Gaming, North America versus North America here in your winners bracket.
A little bit of Groundhog's Day here for you and I, as we're taking a look at Blackhand yet again, a region we got to carry quite prolifically.
Oh yeah, Blackhand is such an amazing team. Let's take a look at them here. Blackhand, your North America champions, coming out of their regional finals in first place, and they have just been on fire in this tournament. Every single player raising the zap up. Here we go, Jungle Book, and I've seen Jungle Book today playing that famous Jungle Book Cinderace, and ooh, it's beautiful.
I love these player profile things that they've put together, because we're seeing them for the first time as you are at home.
Yes.
And that Zapdos, raising the Zapdos prize, absolutely amazing. But on the other hand, IX Gaming, of course, another team we're very familiar with. And little Ginyu Force action.
Looks like they're at Dragon Ball Z.
Come on.
Habis aja.
Says, wow.
Buset, serem banget bang.
I mean, it's just so incredible, so beautiful to see it. Let's go, OG. IX, let me tell you, a team coming in here that I think didn't have as high of expectations as a team like Blackhand, and IX has been setting this tournament ablaze, winning their entire bracket. They are playing so good.
Kratos with the head scratch, like, yeah, I'm here, baby. We laughing it up. We're yucking it up. We're having a good time. Back to the Ginyu Force post. Too easy.
Too good.
This is Blackhand. This is IX Gaming. This is a matchup and a test as old as time between these two NA squads, and now they're getting to do it on the big stage.
That's right, a test as old as time. Blackhand versus IX.
So I'm the beauty or the beast, right?
Ooh, I'll take it. I'll take the beast. Okay. I'm feeling pretty beastly
today,
Okay, let's get after it. Beauty and the end. I'll find it.
We will do singing lessons after the broadcast, as we do every
Wah,
time.
seru nih. Tuh kan Manggis pasti ada guys kanan kiri.
We've got Curios on that Trevenant double stacking here. Eos, Cookie, and an attack weight. I really love this build on Trevenant. It makes you so incredibly powerful, and it gives you all the HP you need to survive in those massive late game fights.
Shades of Gatlu a little bit, who is doing over 100k damage with the tree, and it's going to be looking to do the exact same thing to IX Gaming. On the other hand, though, Pikadiff Snorlax has been looking mean.
Yeah, Pikadiff Snorlax is incredible. And you know, another player to shout out, Nudo on that Serena. Nudo, known for the Absol plays, but they have moved over to that Serena, a Pokemon that is clearly insanely powerful in Pokemon Unite right now, and they are doing some massive work.
I mean, back when Nudo was playing Absol, I used to call him 18 KO Nudo, because they, in the regional tournament, racked up 18 KOs against very formidable opponents. Yes, they got snuffed out by a Combi, but that was just once. And they recovered from that. They're here on the big stage, getting it done in a big way.
That's right. I'm sure that they love you bringing back the MVP incident. Here we go, Blackhand.
Lupa dari kemarin ya. Cuma yang bisa gue bilang pasti itu adalah si Manggis. Manggis itu pasti.
In your winners bracket. This is going to be a fight.
This is going to be an absolute fight. Overlord finding themselves in the bottom path here as both teams are going for a little 1-1-3 for Blackhand, 2-1-2 for IX.
Ya paling beli si Manggis sih ya. Beli si Manggis Dragon Knight lah. Sisanya tuh tinggal ganti-ganti aja tanknya, apa pakai Snorlax, apa pakai Trevenant, atau pakai lagi. Ada yang bawa Eldegoss lah tadi, Aegislash. Nah ini bawa macam lagi tuh.
I think. Nudo putting in some work.
Ada bawa Pet. Macam lu nih, Pet. Anjing, kita kapan comeback, Pet? Ayo, Pet. Gue butuh main lagi, Pet. Ini kita nggak ada game lagi nih. Kita nggak pernah nobar. Kita nggak pernah main game malam-malam lagi nih, Pet. Gue kangen banget loh, Pet. Anjir. Sepi nih. Macam beneran dia. Ya gimana, Sarina jago cuy. Ada mulu pasti. Sarina Blissey.
When you do so much work on the bees, you know what I'm saying? And Curios just holding it down up top, trying to take over to level 5 to evolve. Of course, as IX Gaming got a good crop of those bees, Chansey, or that Blissey gets right in, right out as Slash comes back through, no fear, right in the face of 3 players.
You know, sometimes you don't call out the supports for how amazing their plays are, but Slash is just such an incredible Blissey player. You'll see the amazing heads-up plays by this Pokemon.
Yeah, most of the moves that you see can't be. Oh, and talking about taking some damage to support what? All offense all the time for Slash can.
I support by KOing the enemy.
I support by KOing the enemy. Pada ngilang orang-orangnya, iya pada kemana ya, Pet? Tadi Boboy doang tuh, Boboy nongol, Denny kadang nongol. Boboy, dia main apa ya? 3 ya.
I don't think they're going to be able to convert on KOs, but that's a good look.
You're coming through the teleporter. I mean, you don't expect that every single member of your team is heading to the sky.
I mean, they were bounced up like a trampoline. No problems here. Pika-Diff getting it done. And like I said, looking very crispy on the Snorlax.
Now, this here is an awesome play from Curios. It's really easy to stack when you only have 2 points, unless a Trevenant is in that top path using Curse. Oh! And the stars
Masih
come
Trevenant
out.
bahaya banget sih.
Presley, let's go.
Elvis Presley has been called. That's where we're at now, folks. Big stomp on Pika-Diff, turning them to mush as they're moving forward. And that Overlord on that Zarina is looking good. Coming through, trying to put the pressure on Machoke. They get another one. KO streak of 2. I mean, we're looking at some MVP performances from Overlord, and they're not looking to stop anytime soon.
No, they are not. Overlord, just such an amazing
player.
Cracked on the sticks, if you will. And let's see how this fight turns out. We've got a Dragonite on both sides. Blackhand actually pushing them out of this Dreadnought fight very well.
Overlord going to catch a quick reset.
Snorlax
Definitely going to get back into the action as Kratos is trying to find a way in. They're the hyper secure here with that big hyper beam. Retsu on the backside going to have to get a berry and plucks it in the face of Kratos. Kratos gets a little HP back from the goal zone, but Blackhand is zoning them out so well, so much so that the book is able to take Dreadnought by themselves.
Now let me tell you what I think was happening here from IX Gaming. They had 2 Pokemon stay up in the top path. Okay, all right. Bye, Kratos. See you later. They had 2 Pokemon up in the top path. They were staying up there because Serena and Machamp had not been able to get any of their stacks in. They left Nudo in this top path. They knew they were giving up that Dreadnought, but they knew it would pay dividends later if they got their attack weight stacks.
Oji nomor 1 Lucario. Iya, tapi dia nggak pakai Lucario, cuy.
And stronger, the more you score.
Absolutely. And now JB and Slash, because they just
dia pakai apa sekarang? Pakai macam ya?
They get that Rotom for the price of free.
That's a free Rotom? Wow. I feel like I pay so much more when my teammates go to Rotom.
That's that duo Q action we were talking about earlier.
Duo Q action. The question is, do they break this? This is a big overdunk right here. Nice 40 points into that top path goal. Blackhand ahead on score right now.
Yeah, a good 25-point overcap. They're up by 90. Quick math. The Blackhand doing work, looking good ahead on levels, and IX Gaming is trying to fight from behind.
Yeah, Blackhand is in a great position right here. And once again, Blackhand is actually the team who won in North America. And of course, they beat IX Gaming. IX Gaming coming in second out of that regional finals. So Blackhand knows how to play against IX. The question is, the changes IX have made, are they going to be the difference maker? Pika-Diff could be it, but right now Pika-Diff's got to go home.
Yeah, they get slashed in half by the Slash Can, of course, as Pika-Diff is going
Lucario udah nggak meta ya? Tadi masih ada yang make, Pet, berapa kali gitu. Masih oke sebenarnya Lucario. Gue bingung aja kenapa ada macam. Lucario masih, cuma sekarang gila banget mas Sarina. Sarina tuh pasti ada kanan kiri.
Resetting right here, getting ready to fight
Dragonite, Sarina, Hupa, Blissey, gitu aja.
Looking for a target and a complete miss.
Kratos as well using their Unite move to pick up speed to try and get the action. Hupa Unite by Blackhand, they're trying to push back in the face.
Sarina, target Sarina ya. Ulti tuh, Trevenant nih. Bangke, Trevenant nih, cowok.
Serena as well, Overlord doing work, and OG trying to
Habis
make
nih
it
Oji
happen.
nih.
That Dreadnought has too
Mati
much
Oji.
HP and they're going to get
Pret.
snuffed out, no problems. KO streak of 2 for the tree. Dreadnought goes
Blackhand
to
jago banget ya.
and now they're pushing in the face IX.
Beautiful plays right here, and we are letting Zarina score there. Even though Kyrgios had more points, Zarina still wants some of those attack weight stacks. You put them onto Overlord, make them even stronger. Just going to be such a difficult Pokemon to deal with.
Lihat aja kapan terakhir gue ngupload Unite.
Blackhand looking incredible right here. I would say
si EX hari ini triple axel cowok, bukan Storm.
Well, that's a great
sekarang udah zamannya Storm.
Well done, sir. As Kyrgios gets the big push on Rotom, putting on their side of the map to make it just a
iya, dari kemarin mainnya rapi banget ya, Fer.
They guarantee that thing, and there's an opportunity for that Rotom to travel pretty far here.
Take a look here. I mean, we've got, okay, I was going to say, we had the Zarina hanging out right near this Rotom, but they decided to back off here. Blackhand just looking for some experience in this moment, and a big score, 50 more points in that bottom path goal.
IX Gaming is spread all over this map like peanut butter. They have no way to contest all the different angles that Blackhand is coming at them right now. They're over-leveled, they're taking all the contestable Pokemon, they're going ahead and putting a ton of points, and IX Gaming still has to sort out a Rotom.
Here we go. 3 minutes, 15 seconds. IX Gaming right now, clearly behind. You can see Overlord here just waiting in this tall grass. If anyone comes by, they are ready, charging up their boosted attacks so they can just stomp on their heads. Boom, 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 waiting for these bees. Here we go.
Big stomps through the bees, more experience.
Hilang layoutnya bang, hilang bang layoutnya bang.
Get a big bee, no they can't. They have to dart in, dart back out. Actually use cross chop to escape.
Here we go, running down here towards this bottom path. Overlord might stay up here top. You know, they can secure this even without
Overlord juga top Lucario.
They've got this mean Dragonite.
Anjing gak ngerti ada apa mendadak ke wipe out. Iya cok, gila mainnya udah gila banget nih sekarang kayak hilang nih. Ya error nih, error.
Now we're taking a look here. You can see that
Desi 2 nggak dimainin. Dari tadi nggak ngeliat Desi 2. Garde ada Garde. Renaissance pakai Garde.
We want to win a big fight. Nice little catch by Machamp, but I mean,
error nih layoutnya nih.
Take a long time for that Pokemon to go.
Ayo layoutnya error.
Whole carton of eggs there in the stash for Slash there, as they're just chucking eggs everywhere. We're gonna have egg bombs, we're gonna have soft boils. Of course, Jungle Book sealing up the Dreadnought, and IX Gaming is looking to engage early. Both moving units are coming out. The Zapdos is gonna hit the map here, but the Blissey's KO'd right out of the gate. Nudo's getting real low. Overlords are on the chase. They get stunned up by the Overlord. They get chipped up by the Zarina. Are you kidding me? Good unite there by Nudo, trying to buy some time.
Ulti di situ, di ulti lagi. Overlordnya dilindungi sama Blissey-nya. Dragonite hilang tapi digebuk macam. Trevenant-nya cok. Gila sini, ini Trevenant sumpah ngeselin banget. Rata tuh. Tapi masih belum bisa, harus tetap. Tarik. Jadi Trevenant-nya tuh udah tebel diinin Blissey anjir.
No one going down, but we still got that Unite move there on Overlord, but a huge Bliss assistance on the side of IX Gaming.
Yeah, that's going to be the difference maker. If that Bliss assistance finds its mark for IX Gaming, they can turn the tides of this.
Balik, nge-heal dulu, balik lagi.
Because they know they're sledding against it. Here we go, double stomp come through. Pikachu trying to find a block. Machamp picks up the Bliss assistance Unite move on the Serena from Overlord on OG.
Gila stormnya.
That's 3 in a row. They're absolutely doing it. They're stomping them to absolute fullness here. Just smashed chickpeas all over the place as Hoop was taking out the Blissey. The whole team on IX is sitting in the Pokemon Center. And Blackhand takes that Zapdos, no problem.
Huge
hilang cok.
For Blackhand right there. They're going to throw these points.
Seru ya Blackhand mainnya gile.
That Zapdos fight took so long that by the time IX Gaming gets back,
jago Fair Blackhand. Gue pegang Blackhand lah. Mainnya asik banget nontonnya. Gue pegang Blackhand deh.
Dominating here in game number 1.
Absolute incredible showing by Blackhand, and that's the importance of being
bisa 2-0 nih.
You know, having the high level and working the hard those first 8 minutes because nobody had.
Anjir ini main apa semifinal World Championship udah kayak pup scrub.
Higher experience wins.
700 sama 70 bedanya. Bisa 2-0 ini. Lihat aja makanya apaan. Dia soalnya
Yeah, Overlord looked great, but we can't understate the work that Kyrgios.
Dia konsisten sih, apa draftnya, poolnya. Lihat tuh, kayak main pup anjing.
Blackhand was moving as a cohesive unit, and it definitely showed. Elo, excuse me, can't be understated.
Wah, maghrib guys. Abis ini udah ya. Gue mau keluar juga malam. Fix next patch di nerf. Iya, Sarina udah pasti kena nerf. Sarina udah pasti kena lagi. Stormnya kena. Gue main Unite lagi deh. Tapi gue nggak bisa nih main sendiri. Gue harus main sama teman-teman lagi. Gak bisa gue main sendiri anjing. Marah-marah gue pakai Sarina sendiri coba. Harus ada yang pakai Blissey-nya, harus ada yang pakai siapa gitu. Pusing ngepet ya. Roto tiba-tiba. Tuh lihat bedanya. Sarina musuh EX cuma 16.000. Damage dia 36.000. Overlord 97.000. Iya support, iya memang bener tuh. Nggak bisa, lu sejago apapun main Sarina kalau timnya goblok nggak ke support ya mati Sarina lu. Emang yang penting tuh timnya guys. Blissey-nya, protection dari Hupa segala macam.
It's a nice little push, of course, by Blackhand. They're able to take all the bodies they want. Pika Diff chipping them up, and this is actually that crazy Pika Diff pop-up of 3 that happened just moments after.
And then here we go, Overlord coming down to this bottom path, doing some
Ya,
stopping
supportnya Blissey sama Hupa. Trevenantnya sih gila ya. Dia udah Blissey, Hupa, Trevenant, lo bayangin aja. Itu Sarinanya joget anjir.
The Sailor Dragonite Hollowware looking good.
Well, yeah, I mean you could be a sailor or you could be a boxer. Both.
Trevenantnya narik-narik dari tadi. Tarik dorong, tarik dorong.
Great team fight. OG tried their best. Their whole team was wiped, and after that, it's too easy.
And here we go. Zapdos was easy work with the entire enemy team down. Somehow I think I might screw this up, but Blackhand never would. Securing that Zapdos,
Jago Blackhand rapi. Mantap
fair. Of points, winning this game. I mean that was a commanding win. I would say Blackhand ahead the entire time. IX is going to need to figure out what went wrong there because if they don't,
Focus ban, weak pull, muscle ban, X
Look, 10 KOs, 7 assists, high score line.
X attack bos.
MVP, player of the game of course, but an underperformance for Overlord, didn't hit 100k damage. I'm not sure they're going to be content with that.
This is a devastating match for Overlord. I mean, they just won't be able to handle it. I assume their team is consoling them right now. They did get the victory, but not the 100k. And you can see, I believe they are, yes, crying profusely. That's what it looks like.
He's really saying like I was like 3k damage off.
Yeah.
You know, that's 2 crits. I can get that. I can do that. That's too easy. This is where I live. Let's get it done. Game 2. And of course, everybody else is building around him to keep that momentum.
Soalnya dia bener-bener maju nih Sarinanya. Initiate ya, drop kick gitu. Terus kan dia dipukulin, weak pull nyala tuh. Terus disupport dari belakang anjing, jadi nggak mati. Terus nambah damage-nya gila, weak pull. Terus tinggal storm deh, abis dipukulin gitu, di heal. Terus abis itu tinggal storm, spread 2 kali hilang. Sama pasti dia konsisten. Blackhand tuh, Trevenant, Dragonite, Sarina, Blissey. Nah, OG-nya ganti kan, OG-nya ganti Lucario. Udah nggak main attacker sekarang guys, Cinderace. Wah nggak ada deh, udah nggak ada attacker. Cinderace, Delpok, apalah udah nggak ada. All rounder support tank. Coba kita lihat ya, dia ganti Lucario ya.
I wouldn't say easy game, but dominant game, and they're ready to do it here in game 2, move even further forward in our winners bracket.
Listen, nothing's easy.
Iya, weak pull sama X attack. Terus abis itu dia tinggal stop 2 kali, spread hilang.
That doesn't mean you didn't earn it because it wasn't difficult. These teams are not looking to give up by any means, and IX Gaming has been so dominant, and again,
boleh
not
gue main lagi deh.
relinquish that dominant crown just yet.
No, not at all, and here we go. Our teams are
Kapan review Buzzwall? Nggak ada. Nggak ada duitnya. Mahal.
Going to be moving forward here in the winners. Right now, it's looking like it could be Blackhand.
They are up a game, which means they do.
Tiranitar 14.000 mahal.
That's how it works. JB going to the jungle, so is Kratos. Both on that Dragonite, no problem.
Here we go. IX, your purple team. Blackhand, your orange team. Big fight breaking out here in the bottom path. Early Slash having to run home. Retsu trying to chase it down. Does get a nice little KO.
Apaan?
Looks like Blackhand
hilang chance bawah.
Not as many bottom. Excuse me, Blackhand sent more bottom than IX did.
Yeah, Blackhand sticking with their traditional 1-1-3. IX
Satu,
Gaming going with 2-1-2 as well. And of
Sekarang
course,
2-1-2.
how good can Blackhand hold it down up top? That's going to be the real question. And of course, that's Curios on the tree.
Kayak gini ngejunggle-nya bareng-bareng, Cok, pakai XP share. Tuh. Rotate, ngejungle bareng-bareng.
Overlord needs their experience as it looks like they might be making their way here up to the top path.
They're innovating a little bit here. They're trying to split the jungle, separate that out between a couple players.
Iya, mahal-mahal, Fer. Mager gua kapitalis.
Prolifically here as Nudo's trying to get their points in, but 21 is a lot to try and get in the face of 4.
Here we go. 4 members of Blackhand up in this top path. They're looking.
Ini 12.000, 14.000, coba bayangin aja. Ntar Mew keluar segitu lagi.
Most importantly, they want to stack up all of those stacking items. Curios has 2 of them, an Aos Cookie and an attack weight. Overworld not able to recall and get home. Kratos looking to get a KO on one of them.
Dapat nih Trevenant.
It does.
That's a good action for them, of course.
Iya lo, dipepet lo.
Looks like we got a little bit of a back and forth,
Ngeselin banget.
Some dancing, some do-si-doing happening here in the
Mati
central
lo.
area of Blackhand as OG's just moving in, trying to steal some of that wild Pokemon experience.
Mati kan?
Curios trying to catch him out, and between the two, they get the KO.
Here we
Rusuh sih, joget-joget.
Trevenant here in the bottom path. Nudo, I mean, it's hard to score 30 points, Dupe Snacks. It's really hard. It takes a long time, much longer
Iya,
than
dulu 10k aja main thread kan, nabung kan. Anjing sekarang 14.000, 12.000. Keluarin 2 minggu sekali. Buset, kapan nabung?
Here comes Slash for the support on Overlord. They don't want Overlord to go down right now, and they buy just enough time for them to get out. Nudo forced to back off for just a moment as they're looking for an engage to try and take that A-Palm out from under him. And they get KO'd back the other way, and they give Overlord the Zarina.
Oh, no. I mean, what an unfortunate play there for IX Gaming. They thought they were close, but as soon as Slash came up to support, I think that that moment was gone. You weren't going to get that KO on Overlord any longer. Now Overlord gets the stack in the face of IX Gaming.
Curios got that curse going. It's not going to find its mark. Bang, pops for the bees. Here we go. Big engage by OG. They're trying to find their mark. Curios wants to get into that action too, and they're able to push and horn leech around. They come through, try to get the bee. Pikatif stomps them up. Blackhand, though, looking for that re-engage. His Jungle Book's going in alone. I don't think Elo knew they were going to go in, and they're trying to follow them as OG's back into the action. Retsu supporting them, but it was
Mana nih top global Lucario nih? Dibully-bully Lucarionya.
Now we do not have a Dragonite here for Blackhand.
Udah nggak bisa ya Lucario ya.
Yo,
halo Fahmi.
Jungle Book looking for that, able to get that experience right there. They evolve into Dragonite.
Dibohongin,
This is huge. That means they can secure this Dreadnought with a Hyper Beam. No one from IX is here to stop them. They need to charge up with their Dragon Dance, and down it goes.
Huge push by Curios on the left side of your screen.
Gak bisa Sarina maju sendiri kalau backupannya ada BC ya, mati. Enak banget nih kalau Sarina di support kayak gitu mah. Weak ball. Tuh. Tinggal maju tuh. Ulti Blissey maju. Dapat skor. Dapat lagi. Cabut. Buat repositioning tuh. Gila, dia ulti buat repositioning coba. Tuh.
The Zarina Unite buying enough time. You know they're working in tandem. They said, you come back, use your Unite, come back around. I'm using my Unite, you burn them down, and they got it done. JB and Overlord, 1-2 punching indeed. As Pikachu's trying to get in their face.
Udah, mati.
This might be just a bit much for the big dragon.
I mean, these two.
Dia maksa tadi buat scoring sih, makanya dia kayak gitu.
Thing of beauty, Dupe Snacks, but unfortunately, it does have to come to an end at some point. You got every member of IX Gaming down there, but one to stop you.
Well, there's 2 points left in that goal zone. Blackhand just trying to keep it from getting removed from the map. IX Gaming looking for a big-time overcap a little bit later in the game.
Here we go, 5 minutes, 28 seconds. We're about halfway through this thing here. IX looking pretty good on score. They've broken that top half. Experience-wise, these
cabut
teams
ke
are closer,
atas,
but Blackhand
ngambil
is quite a
berry,
bit ahead for a few of their
ngambil farming, scoring, gak scoring cok, gila. Itu timnya dia. Gue kira dia mau scoring anjing ke situ. Itu ternyata gawangnya dia. Mohon maaf guys. Udah ngantuk kayaknya, udah capek. Gue kira ngambil farm musuh terus mau scoring, punya dia.
Absolutely. Overlord looking to keep leveling up and
Berarti
get
mau ke
over the
Dreadnought
top
nih.
of the whole rest of the team, and so far they've been successful. Jungle Book as well, level 10. Overlord hitting level 11.
Here comes that Hoopa Unite, bringing the whole team in. The fists are flying from space, and they're putting some damage down on the big turtle.
Pika pinning JB down there, and here comes OG to try to close it out. JB's getting real low. IX Gaming takes it on the Serena. They're going to be able to convert some KOs. Overlord's picking up the Blitz Scissors to trying to buy some time. KO Shrink a 2 for Overlord. They don't care about your shields. They don't care about your health. They don't care about the experience. They're coming for you. As Pika is trying to stomp. Elo's getting real low. Can they catch their own reset? They do. They dodge a Hyper Beam 4-player reset. That's huge for Blackhand. They decide not to go back to the bottom path. They say, our work here is done.
I thought Blackhand might be running back there to re-engage. I mean, everybody came home. They decided, no, we're going to run to the top path here. We don't want this Rotom walking towards our tier 2 goal.
Despite the level lead that Blackhand has, IX Gaming is ahead on the scoreboard, having broken 2 goal zones. Blackhand haven't scuffed one off the map at all.
Here we go. It looks like, oh, we got a pumpkin. Sending him home.
Cabut dulu recall Lucario. Iya, Lucarionya kayak nggak ngapa-ngapain. Ya bayangin aja sekarang Lucario kayak gitu. Masih oke, tapi ya gitu guys. Ini kan 3 all rounder tuh. Lucario, Dragon Knight, Sarina. Ya nge-push Rotom ya kan.
Now the 2 members of Blackhand are having to deal with this one Rotom. It means that the rest of the members of Blackhand aren't going to be able to make a great push here in this bottom path.
Listen, they might not be scoring points, but what they are doing is gaining experience. But it's Overlord and Elo hanging out downstairs, going to try and hold it down in the face of 3.
Ya, recall-nya keren ya Trevenant. Animasi bintang gitu.
Well, right now there's experience that they know is right about to pop up on the map.
Dorong.
Overlord, you can't go home.
Dorong Overlord. Overlord, apakah kamu mati atau malah geblek? Kita lihat tuh, malah ngekill guys. Ayo maju lagi. Lo mau narik gua bunuh. Anjir Sarinanya so.
OG gets out just in time, but poor Pikachu falling victim to the Overlord.
Let me tell you, this level advantage, when Serena has a level advantage, woo, it's
14,
scary.
Dude. Level 14 already, you kidding me?
Incredible. Right now, this Dreadnought would be really nice
Ditarik malah
but they don't
digeprek.
want to lose too much for it. You can see OG going off here with the extreme speed, push the enemies
Wah,
out.
kecolong lagi, Hyper Beam.
Jungle Book coming in and taking it out from under the nose of IX.
Cabut.
They use their Unite move to go into a goal zone here. Are they going to have it back? That's the big question mark.
Anjing,
Question
kenapa
that
dia
usage there. They think we don't really need it. Blackhand going to be rolling
pakai
in.
ultinya ya?
Big push. The Hoopa Unites are out. They're pushing in, and that's the Trevenant Unite as well.
War sekarang dong.
IX Gaming caught on the back end. Overlord trying to engage. They're getting real low. They pick up the Blitz Scissors just in time from Slash. You absolute hero. That's going to unlock them and able to keep pushing. The Arena stands, and they're ready to re-engage.
Sarinanya dilindungin banget, diikutin lu sama Slash tuh, beli sih. Gak bisa mati Sarinanya. Oke, OG hilang, tapi sekarat semua nih. Dapat recall. Tuh. Rata guys.
Left, trying to hold it down in the face of Overlord and Slash, but this pressure is becoming too much as Blackhand is smothering this Zapdos.
That's right,
Zapdos
banget,
gila Blackhand.
Pushes out the Dragonite. Blackhand with a commanding Zapdos fight again. Trying to stop Slash from scoring right here, but I don't think it's going to be possible. This is a Blissey, and it's so hard to stop.
Jago banget ya. GG fair, bener fair.
This game beating IX Gaming once again, just like the regional finals.
Gue gak suka ada orang yang spam diulang-ulang ini. Manggisnya OP banget, Manggisnya tuh dijagain mulu dia. GG banget ya. Gue dukung Blackhand deh. Blackhand for the world champ. Kita ketemunya Renaissance nih. Kalau Bang baru masuk ya, kita mau udahan Nero, udah maghrib. Udah berapa jam? Udah 3 jam kita Nero. Udah mau ngapain, gak bakal bisa. Nah, strot. Cepret. Cepret.
Haven't even started scoring yet. KO Shrink a 2 for Jungle Book because of course they're working through absolute.
Mati lagi, rata lagi.
3 and Blackhand has made the stand.
Bingung sih ini pasti nih. Pasti EX Gaming bingung sih. Anjing ini gimana ngelawannya Blackhand, Cok.
They're still in our tournament, but they have lost this series. They're heading down to the losers bracket. There you go. Blackhand moving forward.
Aduh, apakah aku telat Bang Sapa gua dong. Bang Fakules tadi udah mau ujian ya, nggak apa-apa kan bisa nonton replay ntar ya. Ini udah pasrah banget anjir EX Gaming, nggak bisa dia ngelawan. Jago Blackhand ya. GG. Gue dukung Blackhand pokoknya for World Champ. Hilang langsung. Dia bener-bener kayak main match standar anjir di World Champ. Bantai-bantai loh.
They're no strangers to make it pushing through the losers bracket. Let's take a look at these numbers here. Overlord with 10, JB with 7. But I want to highlight real quick the assists between Elo and Slash. 12 and 11 respectively.
12. Asisnya tuh lihat tuh, Hupa sama Blissey-nya 12-11. Ini ngurusin Sarina doang nih.
But look at this damage coming out from Elo, 59,000. 40,000 damage coming out from a Blissey, but of course, you know, we're avoiding kind of one big number.
Yeah, 115k out of Overlord. He heard me talking up here. He said 97. What a game. He's like, I'll show you a little.
Iya, rapi ya, kompak banget ya. Jadi dia kayak langsung tahu gitu loh, ini digebuk nih, langsung ke sini langsung. Rapi, rotate-nya juga rapi. Bisa World Champ ini Blackhand. 115k. Mengurusi si Manggis. Ya udah guys, segitu dulu ya kayaknya buat hari ini. Thank you guys yang sudah menemani untuk live Nobar World ya, World Champ Unite ya. Nanti kita ketemu lagi kapan-kapan. Besok gue mau ada urusan lagi. Besok gue nggak bisa stream. Jadi see you guys another time. Besok ada Infinity jam 3 ya. Jadi ditunggu aja. Oke, bye-bye. Thank you.